I mean, no, but yes.
Well, that's too late because we're there. Hello.
Ah, shit.
Awesome. Hi, everybody.
Howdy.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone, to this new episode of DMs After Dark. Today, we are going to be doing something a little special. So, as you know, it is October, spooky month, and we are trying to feature themes that kind of replicate some of the horror, trick or treat, mischief, that kind of stuff that is associated with kind of Halloween. So today we're going to be playing a game called The Ward. And The Ward is more or less like a medical drama. So think like Grey's Anatomy, House, these kind of shows. We're going to try to add a little bit of a spooky flair, but I anticipate it's going to get a little goofy too. The other thing that's special about this particular stream is October is National First Responders Month. So as myself, as a first responder, as a firefighter and newly paramedic, shout out to me, pat on my back.
Congratulations, bro.
Yes, thank you. So, as somebody who is a first responder, works with many other people that are first responders, I know firsthand that it's a very important job, can be a very tough job, but it's also incredibly rewarding. So did we want to kind of give a little bit of a shout out to anyone that we know that is a first responder or kind of broader picture works in the, I guess we can also encompass like medical field. Obviously, those are first responders as well.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever going to see this, but hi, Mom. So my mom is a children's nurse, and she works specifically in the oncology ward. So she deals with a lot of really tough stuff. She has been a children's nurse for, I want to say 20 years now or around there. So she has the stomach to do things I would never fucking dream of. And especially over the past couple of years, like she's gone through some shit. Like, I mean, all first responders and medical professionals have gone through some shit over the past 2 years. So like, big love to my mom, but also big love to all the others.
Do you have anyone, Jess?
Yeah. I don't have anyone who's actually a first responder other than Choi. I think in my in my direct life that I'm close to. But one of my best friends, Sandy, she is a NICU nurse.
Wow.
She's been doing that for
a NICU nurse. Man, we got peds and NICU. That is wild.
For what, like 10 plus years now? Yeah.
Wow.
And that's been pretty awesome and tough.
I have a good friend of mine, Laura, who is actually works in like the brain injury and like brain cancer ward, which is like, I don't know how she does it, but shout out to her for being able to do that. And her and her partner Andre have a baby, so congratulations on that too. Not that they'll ever see this, but
Bebe.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
A bebe. So congratulations on that. And she's the person who told me that a skull like pops. Almost like it actually pops when you drill into it. It makes like a popping noise.
I was why are you doing this motion?
It's just like it pops. It like drives into the skull.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Whose mind's in the gutter
there's
now,
the first
Jess?
dish.
I didn't say anything. I just said, why are you doing this?
It's just
motion?
like, because you drill in back here and then she says it pops. I can't remember what she said it sounded like, but it grossed me out pretty bad, and that's me. Ray and Stuff's aunt is also a nurse. So there we go.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, awesome. And then I guess I'll just kind of give a generic shout out to all the folks that I work with, as well as, the dispatchers, the police officers, all that stuff that I've worked with previously. Just, everybody give your first responder friends and family some extra love this month. Reach out to them, maybe catch up with them, talk to them, all that good stuff. So just keep tabs on those you love, kind of. So
Rainey's mom is a nurse.
Yeah, that's actually Ray and Stuff's aunt, because Ray and Stuff.
Okay.
Is
All right, I didn't know.
Sarah,
I was like,
Sarah, okay.
All right, you sassy little fucks. Listen.
I did not know that either. I did not know that Ray and Stuff was Rainey's.
I did, but it was only
No idea.
I'm calling chat the sassy little fucks.
Oh.
They need to know.
So we have a little bit of an idea of kind of our characters. I'll give a quick overview of the game. So The Ward is a pretty straightforward RPG. The actual PDF is 49 pages, but the pages are very, very short read. So, I mean, I read the whole thing in probably 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's an Ashcan,
pretty thoroughly.
right?
So it's a quick.
Yeah.
Ashcan, yep, is the one that does it.
Very easy to read.
Magpie Games Ashcan, so it's an incomplete game, more or less, or just a concept. They didn't develop into a full 200-page system, but it's certainly enough to play, and it is powered by the apocalypse, just like everything else.
Yep.
That we play quite often.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seem to play powered by the apocalypse a lot, but it's a great system.
It is. No, I'm not. That's not a complaint. That's just a statement.
Yeah. So realistically, the only thing that you would need to play this is the playbook that they have. Dice, paper, pencils, other tools that you want if you're one of those note takers for the group or anything like that, and at least 2 6-sided dice. That's it. And then, of course, getting everybody's schedules to mesh up, which is usually the hardest part.
That's the hardest part, and that's why we don't have 2 of us tonight. But
Yes. 2 down.
R.I.P.
Be better, both of you. Both dealing with different stuff, but feel better. Yeah.
So that's all you really need to play. This game focuses on, again, it's a medical drama. So it's supposed to focus on kind of tension and interaction between the players. And every character, every player has kind of a set of moves, basically, that they can use. So think of moves kind of similar to like abilities. They break up the moves into kind of like common moves, which everyone will more than likely use. And then there's kind of moves that are more, so the basic moves. And then the other ones are, let's see, sorry.
Is it auxiliary?
Auxiliary moves, that's right.
There's some very interesting moves in there, Troy.
Yeah, let's go over it. So like some of the basic moves, for example, would include like feign competence. So you're in a medical field, maybe you're a nurse or something like that, and you have this critical patient come in, and this is above your pay grade, this is above your scope of practice, but you're gonna pretend you know what you're doing. You're gonna fake it till you make it. You gotta make a roll for that, right? And if you succeed, people are like, oh shit, this person knows what they're doing. And if you fail, bad shit could happen. And I determine what that is, because again, powered by the apocalypse. There's also in the middle, which is called a weak hit, which is it's kind of like a partial success, but there's complications. One of the probably my favorite auxiliary move. So it says these are moves that come in play only in specific situations, or perhaps not at all. We've got blow off steam, which is the way that your character reduces their stress. Obviously, medical professions can be stressful. Working in a hospital, working around, death and injuries and traumas and stuff. And also just the cattiness and the just viciousness that can exist in a hospital setting. Blow off steam, right? Maybe your character likes to go out after work and have a few too many beers, or maybe they're a compulsive gambler. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. Another auxiliary move is sleep with someone. Go figure, what medical drama have you ever seen that hasn't included banging? So, so this is perfect. It's just, I feel like they did a really good job. The PDF, the game seems very well organized, and it's also really simple and straightforward. So I don't know. I like that. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I like the PBTA games a lot because specifically I'm really enjoying the Ashcans because it's short. It's like 50 pages. It's something you can pick up and you can play right away. Once you know the Powered by Apocalypse is the thing I really like about it is once you know how to play it. Honestly, I did not spend a whole lot of time looking at this other than thinking about my character because I'm like, all right, I know there's going to be moves. I know how it's going to work, right? So I just really need to make a character and not have to worry about building the best character or coming up with obscure rules that I might not understand. I can just be like, okay, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to be rolling 2d6 and yeah, there you go.
I also like it because the Powered by the Apocalypse, the DM doesn't have to roll anything. Mm-hmm. Everything that happens is determined based off of the player's rolls. Super great because I left my dice downstairs, so I'm prepared. It's fine.
I also really like games where like a lot is set up within the character sheet itself.
Yes.
Like that's really nice. So I really like that.
One of the things I really like, which I didn't actually print one out, but the character sheets for the different playbooks, it is like a medical intake
nice.
form, which is such a great detail.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes,
think
it is.
in the rules too, it says like it recommends that you like have a clipboard and you like hold your
Yes.
character sheet
Yeah.
at a clipboard.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great.
So good. So
Gets
good.
you in the medical mindset.
Yeah, I agree. Or depending what facet of the medical field you work in, right? If you're an EMT or a paramedic or something, a sweaty ass notepad in your pocket. That works too.
Oh God.
Notepad of HIPAA violations right here. Oh God. Sarah, what do you think? Anything to add to that?
No, I like that it so there are only 4 playbooks, right? And within those there are 4 kind of main tags. But the playbooks are extremely vague and can be customized to a lot of different characters. Like I know we're going to get into this, but literally the playbooks are intern, nurse, resident, and specialist.
Yep.
They're very, very vague, and so you can take it into a lot of different characters and a lot of different settings. Like the one, that we've talked about that we're going to be totally different from what other people can do. But it all fits really well. It's very thematic, I think is what I'm going for.
Yeah.
And I would go kind of one step further with that. I understand that this isn't a fully completed game yet, but maybe when it is fully completed, we could even anticipate more playbooks. I could very easily see how this could include a receptionist, security.
Actually, Lynn Ferno had a question actually, which I think Sarah just answered. Never mind. Which was, can you be like an X-ray tech? Which I think, that would be like a specialist. Like just like you said, you just make it a sort of specialist because you have the theaters that you choose from of the things that you're good at. So you could just choose that as a theater.
One of the character concepts that I didn't end up choosing, but that I had considered was a phlebotomist. So someone that specializes in taking blood and all that. And even though they wouldn't be a doctor or nurse, they'd be a specialist because that's their area of expertise.
That's what they do. Yep. Lab techs. You could be a freaking flight medic. Like there's so many things. You could be a janitor. Like there's so many things in a hospital that a hospital is like a tiny community that functions completely self-sufficiently. And if you were doing a longer, more drawn out game, you could certainly incorporate some of those other roles, because food worker, someone that works if your hospital has a big giant food area, I mean, easily incorporate any of those.
I mean, you would still have a food worker anyways, because you have to feed all of the patients. And
their
food.
Yeah. So you would have like, dietitian and things like that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So I really like that too. One of the other things that's pretty cool about this game is it kind of, like any role-playing game, it is what you make of it, but this also gives you kind of some recommendations. And under the Hearts and Minds section, it says, Masters of Ceremony, which is basically like the Game Masters section. Some of the principles that it outlines are really, really cool. It talks about like walk the tightrope between life and death, address yourselves to the characters, not the players, right? Get in character. Worsen anything left untreated. I love that. Like there could be a shitstorm going on in the hospital, and realistically, you can only do so much. So like, we're going to have to triage and determine what requires my attention, and everything else might go to shit. Here we are. So I just think that's really cool. Be a fan of the players' characters, ask provocative questions, challenge the characters' humanity, show that everyone's addicted to something. Like these are all so good. The principles are top notch. So
nice.
I'm done gloating about that. Shall we go ahead and get into our characters a little bit before we start playing?
Absolutely. I think because some of the creation, I know we all have rough ideas, but I don't think we've all. I know I haven't chose everything. So,
sure. Yeah. Character creation is very straightforward in this. It's super easy. Like they said, the character sheet is like a little note card that's in like a medical document format. You pick your playbook, which is, as we went over, nurse, intern, resident, or specialist. Once you pick your playbook, that gives you access to certain special abilities, I guess, is the best special moves, maybe.
Yeah, special moves, I guess would be what they'd be
and then
called.
every character also has stats, and the stats basically influence your aptitude or lack thereof to do certain moves. So the main stats are brains, guts, hearts, and nerve. And then within that, you also have reputation, which everybody starts with a +1. It's basically your status, notoriety, etc. And you also have connection, which is basically representative of how well you know or get along with other player characters or NPCs. So, who wants to start us off? Also, real quick before we start, stress is another really big mechanic in this RPG, and stress functions like a pseudo HP system. So as your character encounters various stressors, some are more stressful than others, you suffer stress points, and you have like a little, track to keep track of it. And as you progress and accumulate more and more stress points, your character starts behaving differently. They start showing the wear and tear. Things become more intense. And then eventually, if you get too much stress, your character's like, I'm done, right? They leave, they're done in the medical field, whatever. So I think that's a cool mechanic too. So if you don't want to get super stressed, sleep with someone, because that removes stress. Or blow off some steam, which could be the same thing.
Could be, yeah, because if I remember correctly, sleep with someone is someone you have a relationship with. Blow off steam is just blowing off steam.
Banging one
Right.
out. Yeah, gotcha.
Banging one out. Yeah.
Which could be the same thing if the person's name
Jess,
it could be the same thing
tonight. But all of a sudden, all of us are seeing, because Jess is normally like the good one, and all of a sudden
Right.
she's like, yeah, but you're not, you're not tonight.
Listen,
I was filling in blanks.
You're challenging
with someone
something else. Yeah, you're channeling something.
Yeah, Amber, because she's not here. Yeah.
Yep.
Sleep with someone and blow off steam could be the same move if the person's name is Steam. I'm just saying.
Notice now we are half and half.
Yes, we are.
Oh, we are.
Yes, we are.
This is the most even it's been normally.
I don't think we've ever played with this lineup.
No, this is it first.
No.
This is it first.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. Because the other time we did 4 was Pine Island. That was
and Jess wasn't here. It was Rainy.
Minus Jess plus Rainy. Right.
Yep. Yeah. And then the other 4 we had was Jess, Rainy, Sarah, and I for Christmas. For the Christmas one shot.
Yeah. Dude, which is so good. Christmas is coming up. I'm going to give a shout out to that. That was one of my favorite streams we've done. It was fucking hysterical.
So if you've become a fan of me like reciting or spouting out things like Bible quotes or affirmations,
it started with twas.
Please watch
I was just gonna say, wow,
Christian. With twas, Canadian references. There you go.
In the name of universal healthcare.
It's I think the greatest line I've ever come out with ever in any role
That
game.
was the first one you did in that game, and it fucked me up for like 5 minutes.
It was awesome. And Jess was running it too, which made everything funnier because Jess just didn't know how to.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, what do I do after Christian says these things?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jess.
Okay.
Right.
Who wants to start us off with an introduction to your character? We'll do character introductions, and then I will give a brief overview of the setting, and then we're going to go right into it. So,
sure, I can go first. I don't really have too much for mine. I am Dr. Janice Hollow. I am a brand new intern at this hospital. I'm hoping to specialize in orthopedics, but right now I am brand new. I don't know, Troy, we can talk about I don't know how far into my internship I am, but
yeah, that's up. So if you're an intern, you're probably in your first year of residency.
Yeah, right. But I don't know if I'm brand new, like this is my first.
Oh yeah,
month.
how far into your first year? Totally up to you. And it's also up to you, the doctor you want to work under. There are 3 doctors that are going to be at this hospital on a regular basis. One is going to be Christian's character. One of them will be Dr. Stromberg. And the third one is not going to be in this session whatsoever. So you could also have the doctor that you work under not be working today.
Gotcha. No, it's fine. I like the idea of maybe working under Christian if he is cool.
Oh boy.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, that's totally
cool with that.
Brand new intern.
Yeah.
I wear glasses. I'm 20 something. I'm recently widowed. So I did lose my husband.
Drama. Fuck
Total drama.
Sorry, I love it.
But we met from from my addiction My addiction is I'm addicted to food eating competition. So
That's
Fuck
awesome.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Participating or observing?
both. So I participate. I'm like a heavy participator, but I also like train. I watch them. So like figure out strategy, all of that stuff.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my God. That is amazing. You're probably really good at helping patients that have like shit stuck in their throat, like food stuck in their throat.
I hope.
You
We'll
have
see. I'm
saved more
brand
people
new.
with the Heimlich maneuver than anyone else.
I'm brand new. And for my specialties, I chose overconfident and book smart. So that's what I have so far.
God damn, Jess. That's going to be an interesting character for you to play. Someone who's overconfident and
Okay.
book smart. Fuck.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'll go. So I am playing Dr. Maggie Campbell. She's a resident. She's been here for a couple years. The tag I chose for her is young, so she's in her early 30s. She's pretty short, pretty unassuming, which makes it easier for her because she works in pediatrics. And as something I've learned in my real life, kids trust short people better than they trust tall people.
That's awesome.
So true. So true.
Most notably, Joe's niece growing up liked me quicker than she liked him because I was short and unassuming,
Closer.
and Joe is 5'5". So
There
she was
you
scared
go.
of him for a while, but liked me first.
I mean, I will just say,
love
I
it.
feel like if they're really tall, they pick you up and you're like so high off the ground. It's
He-
terrifying.
He wouldn't even pick her up. He would try and get down to her level. She was like, no, nuh-uh, done.
Yep.
Now
Yep.
she loves him, but
Aw,
like it was
at the
very
beginning.
funny for a hot minute.
I love it.
Yeah, so her specialty is pediatrics. The moves I picked for her are winning bedside manner, so she gets a +1 to heart. And then white coat. So it's like even if you fudge a feign competence roll, your patients still trust you.
Oh, okay.
So she
I
doesn't she doesn't scare the kids.
That. Yeah.
I was like, that's
Come on,
important
play
for
with
kids.
my stethoscope.
Yeah. And
love
I
it.
decided her addiction is online shooter games. So she plays like Valorant, Call of Duty,
Nice.
Fortnite.
Nice.
And so
I
she's
love
at
it.
home late night, like swearing up a storm at 12-year-olds.
So as a resident, then I will say the hospital that we're playing at, you are, even though you're a resident, you're afforded a little bit more kind of leeway and responsibility because they don't have a pediatrics section in this hospital. So by default, that means basically everybody here hates when kids go there. So they just kind of pass them to you. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, the pediatrician's here. You
Yup.
do the IVs and stuff on these little ones, you know? So yes, perfect. I love it. And Jess, did you say what your two moves were?
Yeah, overconfident and book smart. So overconfident just gives me I get to push 1 when I feign competence.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a specialty that lets me push additional 2, which I did ortho.
Or specifically regarding orthopedics. Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know if I should actually switch it to cardiology, but I'm gonna leave it with ortho. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Christian, tell us about your character.
So
I love the name.
I have, I think, not to brag, but probably the best name I've ever come up with for a character ever, anywhere.
Which went through like 5 minutes of brainstorming in the group chat between Christian and Rainey and Troy, by the way.
Yes. But I have Dr. Dorian Noir, who is a goth plastic surgeon. Which means that not only is he goth himself, and I'll describe his appearance in a minute, but he also, he's not the typical like, let me, give you a nose job, a boob job, let me suck some fat out of you, plastic surgeon.
Does that too.
He does that too, but his main specialty and what he's famous for is he makes you look more goth.
Right.
So if you want the cheekbones pulled up to make that like sallow skull expression, he'll do that. If you want to make it pallid, he will do that. If you want, want to look like a
Split
skull,
tongue, maybe,
split
body,
tongue.
yeah.
You want some, you want some body mods, you
little, like,
got your boy.
horns.
Yeah. If you have an infection from that piercing, like Dr. Dorian is your guy. All right.
Dr. DN.
Dr. DN is your guy.
DNMD.
DNMD. He wears black scrubs, corpse paint, every other fingernail is painted black. Not all of them, just every other. He wears the black spiky hair with a dog collar, Demonia Gravedigger 250s. Got to be on point. And aviators, ninth house bitches. We do bones.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. And it's funny because this is kind of, like I said, it's a podunk hospital. So like they're happy to have doctors.
Yeah.
So,
And he draws in like
he kind of do whatever the fuck you want.
His specialty is enough that I would like to say, he draws people in who want that. Right. So he's bringing some money in here. 38-ish. Is what I have for age. He's divorced. He's a hard guy to live with. And I have focused as a specialty and top of the field, which I think helps me alleviate some stress. I can never lose too much reputation.
Specifically regarding the your medical
medical. Yep. And then I took race, other, Dwampure.
And
I chose plastic surgery, music, and storytelling for his stuff. And he's addicted. Now, addiction's a little open. My ideas were 9 Inch Nails and or clove cigarettes. But if someone wants to suggest
clove
something,
cigarettes is fucking awesome, bro.
Wait, what?
9 Inch Nails, the band, and clove cigarettes. Yeah.
It could be both.
I know 9 Inch Nails. What is the other one? Is that other one a band too?
Dude, clove cigarettes are so. I don't even know if I would say goth because they're not.
They were goth. They were goth.
And now they're like
early 2000s ish. Yeah.
Yeah, and now they're like a collector's thing. It's not even collectors. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like they're somehow bougie and antiquated and collectors,
which was totally goth, like somehow bougie and antiquated at the same time. Yeah,
that's fair. So they're goth, perfect.
Very goth. I rest my case.
Fuck. Oh, I love it. All right. Well, now that we've gotten to know the characters just a little bit, we'll go over the setting real quick, and then I just have a quick couple disclaimers, and we'll get into it. So. Our session today will primarily take place in a small rural county hospital in Maine, somewhere in Maine. We can make up a random fake county. We'll say Gray, Maine is where this hospital is. It is roughly 90 minutes by driving from the nearest level 1 trauma center. So for anyone that's not necessarily savvy on all the hospital stuff, think of a level 1 trauma center as like the biggest hospitals in the major cities. They basically can do anything and everything with very few exceptions. Like you still have your hospitals that are renowned nationwide and worldwide for very specific things, but level 1 trauma center can do anything that comes up. However, you guys are not a level 1 trauma center. So things are a little bit more Wild West out here. Today's session is also going to take place on Halloween. So it is Halloween night in this hospital. The CEO of the hospital, he's actually a super cool guy, which is maybe a little strange, but also modeled after somebody I know. But it's not uncommon for you to see him in the hospital and actually even helping to treat patients, which is really cool. I mean, this guy is the CEO of this hospital. He makes incredible amounts of money, but he also went to school to get his, CPR classes and his BLS certification and stuff like that, so that he could like help treat patients and stuff like that. He's very passionate about what he does. What that means is you guys get to kind of dress up for Halloween. So everybody's dressed up if you want to be. Within reason. So like no more than Dr. Dorian Noir typically dresses up.
But that's his regular day.
Exactly.
Two quick questions for you, yes. Troy, just kind of mechanically. Can you just go over the stats, brain, guts, heart, and nerve, what they do? And then the other thing is, do we want to cover connections to characters?
Yeah, we can do that too. Okay. So Christian, I'll have you go to the connections. So that way, when we're done going over stats, we can kind of segue, and you can maybe go into that a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Is everyone's the same or different?
No, I think we can.
Everyone's are different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's what I thought. But yeah, continue.
So the way that the stats work in this game is you will assign a +1, a
2 zeros, and a -1.
+1, a 0, and a -1 to the 4 main stats. So we'll start with brains. It's pretty obvious. It expresses your intelligence, training, education. It's what you know and how well you can put it into practice. This is straight from the book, by the way. Guts measures your physical and mental fortitude, your focus, your willpower. It's how well you stand up to pressure and adversity. Heart represents your level of empathy, emotional strength, and humanity. It's how well you connect with people in difficulty. So like, for example, I'm assuming Dr. Maggie Campbell will probably have a very high heart. I might be mistaken, but she's a pediatrician. And then lastly, nerve expresses your audacity. Is it chutzpah?
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
C is silent, yeah.
Chutzpah, okay. And your confidence. It's your ability to fake it when you need to make it. So nerve is the last of the 4 attributes.
Okay. Cool.
Reputation, everybody starts with a +1 in reputation.
Oh.
My understanding is reputation is kind of something that plays a little bit more of a major role in a longer campaign.
Yeah.
In a one-shot, I don't think reputation is going to have much of an effect. It could in your game, but in my game, it probably won't. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that.
Christian's probably like the only one because he's like a...
Well, it's funny because
actually, my reputation starts at +2. I just saw specialist is +2. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of that is obviously your renown in your field. But I think one of the cool things about this is that other than the specialist, everybody starts with a +1 reputation, which is cool because your reputation encompasses more than just your professional rapport. It's also like the relationship you have with your coworkers, the relationship you have within your community, all of those things, right? So maybe you volunteer on the weekends at like a humongous church or something and everybody knows you, right? So that all builds into your reputation.
So I'm looking at connections. We kind of like so if you know, Dr. Jess's character, Dr. Janice is working with me.
Dr. Hollow.
Dr. Hollow. I couldn't read my own writing. I'm sorry. Dr. Hollow. Very well.
It's on the Zoom screen.
And I'm not looking at the Zoom screen right now. So there we go.
Fair.
I know already which one doesn't seem to be living up to your full potential. Connection -1, Dr. Hollow, if you're going to be like that.
Bitch.
And which one?
That's my name.
Which one do you secretly? And the funny thing is, he would love Dr. Hollow because like Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my God.
Your name probably you just fall so short of it. Like he loved you before he met you.
He's like, ooh, Dr. Hollow. And then you show up and he's like, what the hell?
And it left him feeling hollow.
Yes, indeed. So then maybe I secretly admire Dr. Maggie.
Dr. Maggie.
Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I think Dr. Maggie, because actually heart is what I took a -1 on. Because I think that makes sense.
You're superficial as fuck, bro.
Right, exactly. So I'm trying to make everyone look like a Tim Burton movie, and that's all I really see. I walk around and I'm like, that's what I see in life. So my connection probably isn't that, but so maybe I admire her in the way she relates to people, particularly children, because I imagine children probably do not like Dr. Noir. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe the strange ones.
Yeah, the cool ones, you mean?
Yes. Perfect. Jess?
So mine is...
Sorry, Dr. Janice Hollow.
Yeah, Dr. Hollow, whatever.
Thank you. My 3 are, which one of you has it in for me? Which one of you...
That's Dr. Noir.
Yeah. Which one of you is willing to mentor me, and which one of you feels pity for me?
I actually would say that Dr. Noir doesn't have it in for you. He probably just either pities you or is willing to mentor you, but you don't want to probably be mentored the way he would mentor you.
The other thing is, too, that I would quickly like to point out, these can also be for NPCs. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
It's always more fun if it's a PC, though.
Yeah, but if there's one that you want to leave open to chance or something,
yeah.
On the off chance that Troy has weird or wild characters.
No, never.
Yeah, right? That'd be unfathomable. You can also reserve some of those for characters you might need later. So it's up to you guys. But.
Okay. That's fun. I like the idea of, since I'm an intern, maybe like having competition with someone who has it in for me, just having like competition with like something.
Oh yeah, maybe there's another intern, Troy.
I think another fun thing that I'm going to do is I have a list of NPCs here that I anticipate will be working with you guys. And I'll kind of say their name when they're in a situation, and I'll give a quick synopsis on them. Like kind of what's the what about this person, right? Whether it's hospital
know.
gossip, whether it's
Gotcha.
your experience, that kind of stuff. So perfect. And then Dr. Maggie Campbell.
Yeah, so I have one of mine that I definitely want to save for an NPC because I don't think it applies to either of these guys. But the residents' questions are weird. So literally the first two are which one of you looks the healthiest and which one of you has been feeling under the weather. And those are the first, like the third one I know I want to save for an NPC. But like the residents' questions are weird.
I mean, I look pretty healthy. I'm like super athletic in order to eat a lot.
Yeah, so first of all,
Dr. Noir does not look healthy at all.
He looks like he
Okay,
doesn't have a single unit of vitamin D in his body.
so then Dr.
I run a
Hollis-
lot. Yeah, I run a lot. I train a lot. Like, I look pretty
He's
healthy.
a Dwayne
Yeah, so
here.
then probably Dr. Hollow for who looks the healthiest, Dr. Noir for who looks like he's under the weather.
Yeah.
And then the third question, which Troy, feel free to run up an NPC with this, is which one should I consider a rival?
Okay.
Because I
dude,
feel
you're
like
gonna-
Dr.
Yeah.
Maggie wouldn't have a rival in either of these guys because she's like, oh, they're not in my field. They're just like nice people I work with.
Oh, dude, don't you worry. There's going to be opportunity.
Perfect.
Jess,
Perfect.
what's my nickname? I have the lowest connection with you. You get to pick it.
All right, come back to me. Hold on, let me think about this.
All right.
It could be if you guys call him Dr. DN for Dorian Noir, it could be Dr. DNR, which is a medical acronym that stands for do not resuscitate.
That's awesome.
Dr. DNR, do not resuscitate. Like
Oh.
if this fucking guy dies, just leave him be. No one's gonna save him. Dr. DNR. I love it.
Could actually be Dr. DOA because he looks like he's already dead.
Or DOA would work.
Mm.
Yep. Absolutely. Dr. Count. Okay. So before we go ahead and kick things off, I'm just going to do a quick disclaimer. So obviously this is a medical drama and it's taking place during Halloween. So I anticipate there will be some perhaps frightening and spooky elements. We'll also try to keep it fairly lighthearted. The drama between people might get intense. There are a couple things that we have identified as X cards, so we will not be doing these specific things at all in this scenario. There will be no like gruesome injuries or death of children. That's not going to happen in the session today. And then the other thing is we will be staying away from any type of sexual assault or anything like that. We are not going to do that at all today. Obviously, those things do happen in real life. We don't feel it's necessary or beneficial to address those things today in our stream. So, and if anything else comes up during the stream, all of the players and myself are all aware to just say, hey, we're gonna, just kind of do one of these X in chat, whatever, raise your hand, or just say, hey, can we skip this? And no problem. All right, anything else before we go ahead and kick things off?
I just
Ready.
want to know what everyone's wearing for their Halloween.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
All the
Absolutely.
characters are wearing.
Absolutely.
I already described Dr. Noir. It's his favorite holiday, but he dresses like every day
Normal.
for Halloween. Yeah.
I love it.
I am going to be a skeleton, but like with like little felt food stuck near the belly situation.
Oh, dude,
my
that's
God.
awesome.
That is
That's
awesome.
adorable, Jess. God damn.
So one of the things that I had joked about Dr. Maggie before stream is that every month she dyes her hair a different color for the different holiday. So right now it's half black and half orange. And I think what she did is she's getting a real simple. So she's got a scrub top that is a jack-o'-lantern, little
Okay.
pumpkin, and she's got a green scrunchie in her hair and has it like in a fluffed up
Oh,
ponytail. So
yeah.
it's like
Like
the
the
little
vine?
stem.
Oh,
And
I
then
love
she's
it.
got like a black long sleeve shirt underneath. So you just see this like little pumpkin running down the hall.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. I love that. All right. Anything else?
I couldn't think of anything, Christian. I'm just gonna go with the count.
The count. All right.
Count.
That is appropriate because I will also add the detail that Dr. Noir drives to the Gray Hospital in his Dragula custom-made hearse.
Oh my
my
God. With the
God.
blasting 9-inch nails.
No, actually, he's probably blasting White Zombie if he's driving that when he gets to
Okay,
work.
that's fair.
That's fair.
That's
Got it.
fair.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
So crazy.
Do you have a custom license plate? What does it say? You
Oh,
do?
God. Oh my
gosh,
Do you have
yes,
a
you
custom
do.
license plate?
He has
And
to
what
have
does
a
it say?
custom license plate. Chat.
I'll let you think about it.
I'll let chat.
I'll let you
What
think.
does chat think?
Yeah,
Like,
let chat decide.
What do you think?
That's awesome.
What does Dr.
Okay.
Noir have? Let us know.
While we are deciding this, as all good medical dramas start, there's kind of an introductory scene, and then we kick things off. So, it is Halloween night. It's fairly cold. It's a brisk night. A little dreary. It's raining. There's kind of thunderstorms and lightning in the distance. All of this creating this ominous vibe, and we zoom in on this big, giant mansion on a lake. And as we're getting closer to it, you just start to hear the bass in the background. And it's just boom, 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 boom. And we come in to this mansion, and there are just these strobe lights everywhere. There's people everywhere dressed up in costumes. There's a thin layer of smoke and haze as people are smoking hookah and vaping and doing all this other shit that, like, you know, young kids do at Halloween parties. And the music is going and it's lively and everybody's dancing and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, there's this guy that kind of wanders over to the couch and he sits down and he kind of looks at the other group of people and they look at him and they're, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And he kind of shakes his head and he's like, I don't feel so good. And they're like, "All right, man, well, maybe get some fresh air. Maybe you should go outside." He's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And he kind of goes to stand up and he starts to swoon a little bit. And he kind of falls down and crashes through the table that he was in front of. And it causes this big ruckus. And everybody's like looking at him. What's going on? What's happening? And he just all of a sudden, he just vomits this bright red blood color. And everybody starts to scream. And you hear the sound of sirens in the distance.
Oh. That's awesome. Zach P., thank you for 8 months. And St. Bailey's, Ben, thank you. He just gave me the license plate, which is God is Dead. GOD1SDED. God is Dead.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
The old little Nietzsche. All right. It's perfect.
I love that.
Perfect.
I love that. Perfect. So we pan back over here and we are at the hospital. I don't know what the name of this hospital should be.
Just Maine Gray Medical Hospital.
Yeah, Gray County Medical Center.
Yeah, there
Let's
you go.
say that.
Gray County Medical Center.
So we are at Gray County Medical Center, and it's been a GCMC. I love it. It's been a pretty quiet night actually. There is a 9-bed ER in this hospital. So again, small hospital. Right now, the only physician on staff is Dr. Dorian Noir. He is working tonight, even though he's not normally scheduled, but it's Halloween and he was excited to see all his coworkers dressed up and stuff like that. So he came in and picked up some overtime, I guess.
His wife's got the kid tonight.
His wife's got the kid.
Yeah.
I love it. We have
ex-wife. He's divorced.
We have kind of a slew of other you see other people in the background. Various nurses are at some of the stations. Some of them are, charting on their computers. There's, a few patients in the rooms right now. I'll say you have 6 beds open. So 3 of them are currently occupied. And and it's just kind of a quiet night so far. What's everybody up to at the moment?
I assume running errands for Dr. Noir, running like labs or things. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, he was like,
it's quiet though, right?
It's a quiet night. So he's probably going through he's probably working on some of his regular work. So like what he has you do is you're going and you're getting like x-rays and stuff because he's looking at people he's going to do like facial reconstruction on. But he's just like, "Dr. Hollow, I need you to get us some coffee. You know how I want my coffee, right? Black is night, black is sin."
Of course, Dr. Noir. Happy to.
No sugar.
Would you like anything else with that?
Dark chocolate. Like a Hershey's
The
bar.
darkest.
Yes, the darkest you can find, please.
Gotcha.
At this point, a young man comes. He's kind of standing at a desk nearby, and he kind of overhears this, and he says, Doctors, I can grab that for you. And he's a short man with like crop top kind of black hair. You guys have seen him in the hospital a little bit over the past couple of months. Maybe you know his name, maybe you don't. It's up to you. But he is actually an EMT student. So he is in school to be an EMT. And as I mentioned, one of the strange things about this hospital is despite it not being a level 1 trauma center or a bigger hospital, because Dr. Dorian Noir is of this particular reputation, they do take students in various medical capacities. So this young man is a EMT student, and he's probably 18 years old, and he is he's just a very helpful dude. He's always kind of there to help, but he's also kind of, I mean, nobody really, there's nothing special about him that people remember. But he says, I can grab your black coffee and your dark chocolate hot cocoa.
Perfect. You do that, Brian?
Oh, Samuel. He like holds up his little student badge. Yeah, Samuel.
That's right. I always
yes, Samuel. Excellent name.
Yeah, doctors, I'll be right back. And he kind of like moves with haste as he scampers away towards the break room area. Dr. Maggie
Brian seems like a nice kid.
Does seem like a nice kid.
This is another one of those fucking things, isn't it?
Oh, this poor kid.
Christian's got to get us back for our Midnight Codex game.
No, that was fine. I set that up at Midnight Codex.
Dr. Maggie, one of the patients that's in the hospital right now, is a 10-year-old boy who was trick-or-treating, and he was actually wearing this giant box costume that was homemade, and he was supposed to be Buzz Lightyear. And as he was like running around dancing, getting candy and stuff like that, he misstepped off a sidewalk and he fell and he hurt his ankle. So he just got into the ER, just got admitted past triage, and he just got brought into the room by his mom.
Yeah, so she had presumed she's gotten a workup from one of the nurses or whatever.
Yeah, so there is currently a nurse that is in the room right now, and she's charting a report on this person. And you know this nurse. This nurse is Nurse Sue. And Nurse Sue is a very competent nurse. She's been a nurse for 40 years. She's been doing this for a long-ass time. Having said that, Nurse Sue doesn't take shit from anybody, and she's not a super like fluffy, lovey nurse. Having said that, though, she's usually pretty courteous with kids, though. But like, she's a great nurse to have if you have a patient that's being a total asshole, because she does not put up with anybody's shit.
Yeah, so we all respect Sue.
She's kind of going through the standard questions, hey, have you been outside of the country in the past 2 weeks? Any, flu-like symptoms, all this stuff, any medical allergies, blah, blah, blah. She's kind of talking to the mom, and she's answering the questions, and the boy's kind of sitting on the table, and he looks kind of scared. He looks kind of worried. And he still has remnants of like various pieces of like costume and stuff on his face and whatnot from when he was dressed up as Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, so she pops in. She does the little like the doctor like halfway open the door, knock knock, all the way open the door.
Love it.
And she kind of looks around, sees Sue, gives a little nod, goes over to the table. Hey, bud, what's brought you in here today?
Kind of looks at him. He's like, I tripped and I fell. We were trick-or-treating. I hurt my ankle.
Oh.
Is it broken? And he kind of like looks at his ankle. He like pulls his pant leg up a little bit and winces.
Well, I'll tell you right now. If it's broken and you're acting this brave, then that is very impressive. But let me take a look. And so she'll go down. She'll, do the whatever careful inspection.
Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and make a displaying expertise roll. Okay. So go ahead and roll me a dice here. See what's going on with this ankle.
Display. Just because I have
so that would be 2d6, and I believe displaying expertise is your intelligence.
Yep, it's plus brains. That's her neutral stat. So it's just the flat roll. Oh, okay. I rolled a 5 and a 4, so that's a 9.
Yeah, that's good enough. Given this particular situation, I'm gonna say strong hit. Normally it's a 10 plus. I'm gonna say you got it because you're a pediatrician. This kid is a pediatric patient. So you kind of look at his ankle a little bit, and you move it around a little. You notice it's pretty swollen and stuff like that. But you work with the patient. You try to build up some rapport. Hey, can you wiggle your toes? Can you move your foot and stuff like that? And he does so. He's obviously in a little bit of distress, but after your initial assessment, you decide you don't think his ankle is broken. It's probably strained, but it would be a good idea for him to go and get an X-ray just in case.
Yeah. So she'll kind of, all right, so it's not broken. All your bones are doing good.
The mom in the room lets out an audible, thank God.
Yeah. She'll kind of try and explain, like the general, what happens is your muscle got pulled in a weird way. It zigged when it should have zagged. Happens to everyone. We're gonna put some ice on it, help it soothe in, and we're gonna do a real quick X-ray just to make sure that everything on the inside is good. And she'll have you seen an X-ray done before? Have you seen what they look like?
He says, yeah, my dad had an X-ray before. Is it gonna hurt at all?
No, it's basically like taking a picture of your foot, but with a really big fancy machine.
Oh, thank goodness. He kind of sits there for a minute, and it looks like he's kind of thinking, mulling things over. Nurse Sue is continuing to ask the mom. She's finishing up some questions with her charting and stuff, and she looks at you and she says, "I'll let radiology know that we need an X-ray."
Perfect.
And the boy kind of he kind of starts to look a little like downtrodden, and he says, "Do you guys do trick or treating at all here?" He's like, "I didn't get any candy." And he looks real upset about that.
Well, I don't get to trick or treat. I do get to dress up, but I'll see what I can do about that candy. I think we can fix this.
Awesome.
That's like, I literally was going to say, decided that I think in the background behind Dr. Noir's back, I want to set up like a candy eating competition.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's just like fucking Twix wrappers everywhere. Dude, that's amazing. And yes, that's happening. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a fucking mountain.
I'm like organizing this behind Dr. Noir's back.
Dude, yes. I love it. And you're already like, you're separate. Like everybody else is a fucking noob. No one else
No, I'm not participating. I know how to do this. So I'm like running and judging.
But if
and
there's
coaching.
anyone that you think would participate that you want to undermine, you're putting like the almond joys and shit in their pile, like the dense
The
shit.
Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Tootsie Rolls.
This guy you like gets Kit Kats. This asshole gets almond joys. I love
Almond
it.
joys are delicious.
Yeah, but they're hard to
I'm
pound.
saying they're dense. They're dense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's true,
chewy. They're
that's
chewy.
fair.
They're
Okay,
chewy.
yeah, that's
Not like
true.
Tootsie Rolls though. Tootsie Rolls
Tootsie
would be
Rolls.
like that's like the submarine. You're done.
Yeah.
You got undercut with that. Yeah, you're
They
sunk.
also taste like shit, so they're hard to
Oh, I
eat.
No,
like
they
Tootsie
don't.
Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls are awesome, dude.
Yeah, I
Shut
like
your
Tootsie
mouth.
Rolls.
I only like the flavored ones.
What
I
do you
don't
like?
the-
You like Werther's, Troy?
Yes, and yeah. Oh God, sorry, that's a reference to a game.
Yes, it's
Okay, never mind.
no, mine very much.
Throwback.
Yeah, throwback.
Oh no, we talked plenty about Grandma Club, unfortunately for
No,
everyone.
that was
No,
three
that
raccoons.
one's
That was
three
three
raccoons
raccoons in
Oh,
a
that was
trench
three
coat.
raccoons in a trench coat. Okay,
No, but
never mind.
the
That
first
was not
carryover from that was Grandma's Club, where Marv bought his Cialis from three raccoons in a trench coat.
Oh,
So
okay.
it just
That's what it
became a
was.
thing. The characters revisited. Yeah.
Okay.
So, right.
As this is all kind of going on, you're Dr. Hollow, you're setting up the little candy station. Everything's been pretty calm. Two guys kind of come into the ER, and they walk up to you, and you recognize them right away. They're two of the EMS providers in the county. Again, it's a pretty big rural county, but there's not a lot of population, so there's maybe half a dozen providers, EMS providers. But you do know these two because they're both full-timers and they work pretty often. One of their names is Cody. He's a bigger, heavier set guy with a big beard, and he's fairly quiet. But if you get to know him a little bit, he is hysterical. He is like the funniest fucking person ever. He's always ready with a quick, like witted quip. He has a very dry sense of humor that just if that's your thing, Cody's a very likable guy. The other person, his name is Casey, and Casey is Mr. Perfect and Mr. Badass. This guy is, first of all, he looks like a supermodel. He has a The guy is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. This guy, he just got back from he just got back from vacation. He was in Australia, and he was doing a photo shoot to raise money for like these animals that were displaced because of like a fire, like a big fire or something. This guy's just like Mr. fucking philanthropist, Mr. Perfect. He works on the helicopter that's at the larger hospital 90 minutes away. He's like a flight medic. This guy's just a fucking rock star, okay? And some people hate him because he's just so perfect and so good. They're like, this guy's like an asshole. He's like so perfect. And then he's like, I just got back from like volunteering for like animals that were hurt in wildfires. So yeah. So those two guys come strolling up, and they're both pretty like relaxed. They're carrying a cot with them, and they're in the process right now of stripping linens from the cot and getting new ones. And Casey kind of comes over to you, Dr. Noir, and actually, no, I'm sorry, Dr. Noir, are you and Dr. Janice next to each other right now?
Yeah,
no?
So I think I probably, like, I have my coffee and I'm showing Dr. Hollow, since she insists on being formal, this photo of a face. And so I'm like, so the patient came in, and what they want to do is they want to look like, have you ever seen Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola one?
No.
Oh, what is the matter with you? You need to see it. All right. First of all, you need to see it if you're going to continue working with me, okay? Because it's an excellent movie. But secondly, what they want is they want the Dracula look from that, like the old Dracula, though. So I don't know why, but I don't question the patient. So what we're going to do here is we're going to increase the bones here and the cheekbones as angular as possible, and we're going to take the ears and we're just going to bring them back, like back and higher up here. Right?
Okay.
And so that'll be, you'll get the old look, and hopefully they can grow out their hair and do that big weave thing that he did. But yeah, that's what we're going to do here.
Meanwhile, Dr. Janice
$50,000.
Like, Dr. Janice is like, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Hey, there's bone reconstruction in
I suppose that's fair.
like this.
I suppose that's fair. So as this is happening, Casey kind of leaves Cody, and Cody's cleaning the cot. Casey walks over to one of the nursing stations, and he's talking to one of the nurses there, Nurse Robin. And you know Nurse Robin, she is a super pleasant nurse. She is the nurse equivalent of Maggie Campbell. She is just the sweetest gal. She also has like the cutest outfit on today. I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head of what it is. Let's see. It's
strawberry shortcake.
Dude, that's perfect. She's dressed up like a strawberry shortcake. This is just like so sweet, so unassuming, unoffensive. Just she's a strawberry shortcake. She's got like a little blush on her cheeks and stuff like that. She's very, very sweet, right? And you notice when Casey walks over to her, those cheeks get a little redder. And he kind of leans in on the nursing station, kind of suave like, and he's like, in his super suave voice, he goes, well, sorry, Robin, but we just brought in a regular. I don't even want to say his name. And kind of one of the other nurses sitting nearby overhears it, and she's like, oh, fuck. And Robin's like, who is it? And he says, it's Adkins. And everybody at the table at the nursing station goes, oh, fuck. He goes, he's in triage right now. I'm assuming he'll be back in just a couple minutes. Make sure you have a bed ready and a bedpan. And he kind of, as he's walking away, he goes, oh, don't forget to remind me, I've got to show you the photo shoot that I just got done doing in Australia. It came out so good. And it was for such a good cause. And Robin's like, okay. Dr. Noir and Dr. Hollow, you overhear this. And when you heard the name Adkins, this definitely rang a bell. Maybe a minute or two later, from the triage area, there is a man that is being brought back on a wheelchair, and he is just screaming in agony. I mean, we were playing some nice spooky music. Everything was going great. And all of a sudden the screams erupt, and this guy is just losing his mind. Oh, my stomach. Oh, I'm going to die. Somebody help me. Oh, God. Adkins is a patient that you guys have dealt with many, many times before. And just as you all have addictions, so does this gentleman. Although this gentleman has a very interesting addiction.
Is there something stuck in his ass, Troy? Because that was a discussion that's been going on in chat, and if that's what you're doing, like I'm going to blame chat for this. But all right,
Wait,
go on.
okay. In Twitch chat, I was like,
chat,
this is probably an hour chat.
Twitch chat. Yeah.
Oh, I've been watching it. Yeah.
So about a month
Funny.
ago or so, one of the last times that Adkins was in here, he actually had to have an emergency surgery done on his intestines by Dr. Stromberg, because Adkins is addicted to Pepto-Bismol, and he drinks so much Pepto-Bismol that he will go weeks without shitting.
Oh my God.
And there's a very simple way that you guys typically fix this in the ER, but it's very messy. So here comes Adkins Dury getting wheeled into a room, and it's the CNA that's working in the hospital tonight. Her name is Bailey. You're concerned if she becomes a nurse. She's pretty lazy. She's pretty slack ass. Doesn't appear to like her job. You're not sure why she's here. But she kind of wheels this guy in and dumps him off in the room, and he's in there screaming, and she kind of closes the curtain and shuts the door to minimize the screaming. Dr. Noir, since you are the attending physician tonight, you need to assign this person to a care provider, physician.
This dude needs an enema, right?
Either that or some laxatives, or both. Again, don't pigeonhole your suspect, your patient. I'm going to give him both, actually, because fuck him for making me have to deal with this. So who is going to be the attending physician for this patient? It can be yourself, Dr. Hollow, or Dr. Campbell.
I'm going to page Dr. Campbell.
Okay. So, Dr. Campbell, you are in the room with the little kid and you're just finishing up your assessment, and someone from radiology comes along and they grab the kid and start taking back for x-rays, and you're like, you'll be fine, bud. You're no problem. And your little pager goes off. And again, you hear the sound of screaming coming from the lobby somewhere.
She's just like, oh, that's normal. So she'll check her pager.
And it's Dr. Noir, and he's telling you you've got a new patient.
No, I'm just saying come.
Okay.
I'm just paging her to come. I'm not telling her to that she's got a patient yet.
She'll respond that she'll be there in a minute, and she'll.
He's like, oh. So he's standing next to Dr. Hollow, and he's like, oh, well, good. Let him wait a minute. And he just kind of like leans back.
I'm really just, Chris, I'm going to make you feel bad for this. She looks at the kid's mom and just goes, does he have any food allergies? I want to make sure we give him the right candy.
She looks at you and she goes, oh my gosh, he would love that. No food allergies. His favorite is Reese's Cups.
Oh, we definitely have this. Okay. I'll make sure when he gets out of radiology that we've got a goodie bag for him.
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
I'm always happy to help. And so she heads off, and she knows Dr. Hollow knows where all the candy is. So she sees them together. She's like, oh, perfect.
She's very nervous. Dr. Hollow's just like, Dr. Noir, I don't think we should. He's screaming.
It's just like every month. Trust me, he'll be fine. He's a big baby.
What's going on?
He's a big baby.
So, what's the dude's name again?
Hello, Dr. Kim.
Adkins.
Oh yeah,
Dury.
Adkins. Yeah, Adkins Dury.
Adkins Dury.
Adkins Dury. Adkins is here again. So listen, I'll handle it, but I don't get along with him or anyone else. So can you just talk to him, and then I'll just do what needs to be done.
I can do that. Dr. Hollow, could you do me a favor then?
Oh, sure. Of course. Anything, Dr. Campbell. What can I do for you?
This is really, really little. I've got a 10-year-old that just sprained his ankle and missed out on trick-or-treating. I was wondering if you knew where the extra candy was so we could whip up a goodie bag for him.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
Also, while you're doing that, we're going to need some of that laxative chocolate. Just make sure that those two things don't get mixed.
Oh, God damn it.
Laxative chocolate. Okay.
So we want the laxative chocolate to go to Adkins, the regular chocolate to go to the child.
We definitely did not eat all of that. Right. Yes.
I haven't eaten any laxatives. I don't know what you're doing.
No, I have not either.
Okay. I mean, I know you do these eating contests. I don't know if that's like something that you need to do, but if it is,
that actually probably does help. No lie.
So Christian, I'm gonna have you make a roll here. So either I'm gonna have you make a roll of showing contempt toward Dr. Janice. You're being very snide about it, but also passive aggressive, or I'll have you make a act professionally roll for offering to take care of the patient that you definitely don't want to take care of. So you're going to make one of those.
I'm going to let you. What do you want? Do you feel like I'm treating you with contempt, Jess? Or do you want me to roll the other one? I don't care. Either one.
Either one is fine with me. Maybe do the professional one. I think you're fine.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just how he treats everyone. He's not actually being contemptuous. That's how he is. That's why his heart is -1.
Perfect. Make me an act professionally roll.
Christian character, right? Okay. So act professional. I get to add guts. Okay. 3.
Okay, so you offered to kind of take care of this, right?
Yep.
As long as
I'm going in.
Did you sign Maggie or Dr. Hollow to
Dr. Hollow? Campbell has saved her.
Dr.
He's going off to get chocolate.
Dr. Hollow is getting the chocolate and enemas because I'm gonna after I blast this guy's ass out, he's gonna get some enemas too. All right, we're going full treatment here, and then Dr. Maggie is going to talk to the gentleman and have a bedside manner because, quite frankly and literally, I'm sick of his shit. So
okay.
So he reaches into he finds one of the nurses or nurse assistants who's like, get me the special bag, and she brings out a black bag with a little skull on it, and he reaches in and he brings out light black gloves, and he's just like snap, and they go all the way up to his elbow. So
as you get prepared to walk into Adkin's room, you go in there and he sees you and something that strikes a nerve with you. What is something that gets under your skin, Dr. Dorian Noir?
I mean, I think that Dr. Noir does not have patience for this guy because he's causing his own problems, right? So I think he's got a -1 in heart. So I think that, the fact that the guy's crying and acting kind of pathetic isn't helping. It's actually annoying him more. Which is why he's going to give him enemas also, and he's probably going to be a little rougher with this. I mean, he's going to give him laxatives also, but he's going to be a little rougher with this enema than he really needs to be because he's like, fuck this guy. I don't want to deal with this on Halloween. So yeah.
So what happens is you walk into the room, and this guy, when someone walks into the room, he cranks it up a fucking notch. He dials that shit up to 9, and he is just screaming at the top of his lungs. He is swearing. He's shaking the handrails. He's freaking out, I'm gonna die. No one cares. You guys aren't gonna help me. Blah 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 blah.
And he's just yes,
you got a 3 on your act professionally. So how do you act very unprofessionally in this moment?
So he comes in and he's just I want to say they probably have seen each other before. And there's been other nights when I've been the doctor on it, and I've had to do this. And so our relationship is not the best. So he just walks in and he's just like, oh, zip it, Atkins, you're going to be fine. And he just goes right around to the back and starts getting the enema stuff out. He's just
I love
don't
it.
even care.
Just bedside rapport, 0.
-1 heart.
As this is happening, as Dr. Dorian Noir is in the room attending to this patient, Dr. Janice Hollow, you are running to find the chocolate laxatives, which are kept in the hospital somewhere for some reason. And as you do that, you run into Jeffrey. And Jeffrey is the janitor at this hospital.
Okay.
He is an older man with nothing but time on his hands. He's definitely creepy. He does a lot of staring, not much talking. And today, he is dressed up like Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. And as you walk by him, he has a mop and he stares at you and he says, "Hello, Clarice." And he just kind of like stops you in your tracks as he's looking at you with the mop.
I'll just laugh like, oh, good one. And then just keep going.
Yup.
Yeah, you're like, this man might murder people.
I mean, he
It's
dressed
fine.
up for Halloween. That's nice.
Yeah, but it's weird because you notice the outfit appears to be well worn. So you're like, what the fuck? But yes, he's kind of mopping in front of one of the storage rooms. You go in and you start to grab some chocolate or whatever. At this point in time, from where all of you are, you can hear a strange tone goes off in the hospital. And it's a tone that Dr. Janice Hollow and Dr. Maggie Campbell, you've certainly never heard before. And actually, Dr. Dorian Noir, you may not have heard this tone before either. So I think I'll have you make I'm trying to see what the appropriate role would be for this. Displaying expertise, perhaps. We'll have you make one of those roles.
So that's brains, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
9.
All right. So, yeah. So you're dealing with screaming and stuff like that. So you don't.
Oh, hey, hydrate.
You just catch. Oh, hydrate. You just catch the tail end of this tone.
Remember that for later.
And you're not 100% sure you heard it right, but you think you've heard this tone before at the bigger hospital. And you think it's a tone that comes out when there's a MCI, which is a mass casualty incident. So this is a tone that does not come out very often at all in fucking Podunk, Gray County Medical Center. But you're not sure because again, there's a ton of screaming and shit going on in the room.
Yeah, literally.
As that, literally and figuratively, as that tone goes off, in the lobby, Casey and Cody are kind of hanging out, and they like to hang out in the ER when they don't have calls and help out with IVs and that kind of stuff. And one of their portable radios goes off, and somebody comes out on, the tone goes off, boo, and then there is a dispatcher that comes on the radio. You all recognize and love this dispatcher. He is very professional. He's polite. He comes in, brings you guys cookies sometimes, that kind of stuff. And his name is Jake, and he comes out on the radio and he says, Gray County EMS Unit 1, respond to such and such address for a reported animal attack. Be advised, police are on scene and the scene has been secured. They're reporting that it appears to be some sort of large cat, perhaps a lion or tiger. And Cody and Casey look at each other like, what the fuck? And they hear the tone go off in the hospital and they go, well, looks like shit's hitting the fan, guys. We'll be back. And they start running out of the hospital. So, yeah, so that's some shit that's going on. As this happens, the phone starts ringing at the attending physician's desk. So in this case, it would be Dr. Dorian's phone, but he is in another room helping a patient. So someone else can pick it up if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll grab it since I believe I'm around. So she'll pick it up. Gray County Medical, Dr. Maggie Campbell.
Hi, Maggie Campbell. This is shit. I guess I didn't have a name for this character. This is County Dispatch. We just received report of a mass casualty incident. There are EMS units. There are deputies on scene as well. It appears that there was a party going on and quite a few of the guests started vomiting bright red blood. They're not sure what's going on. They don't know if this is a poisoning or whatnot, but we have diverted as many units and personnel as we can to the larger hospital. However, they don't have enough beds available for everybody, so we're going to be sending 3 people your way.
Okay, absolutely.
ETA will be 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, thank you for letting us know.
Yep, you got it. And then you can hear like sirens in the background, people yelling and shouting and stuff. You hear the vague sound of like a bass going off in the background as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So
she will head to I don't know, wherever the proper place to warn people is.
You got to go in and see the doc. Why does that work?
There also is a PA system that you can
I was
use
gonna say, if you're on the phone,
broadcast
that's
throughout the
probably-
rest of the hospital.
Okay, yeah. So she'll hop on the PA, just make an announcement, and knowing that everyone will hear this, we'll try and keep it as.
Yeah, there are like color codes and stuff like that like
Yeah.
all doctors are.
Yeah, you
supposed
probably have to
learn
flip
and
through a
know,
book of the
like
codes and look
nurses
up what an
too.
MCI is.
Yeah.
Code puce. Code puce.
Code black. It's
Code
midnight.
Black.
Is that what
Blackest
that? Are we
night.
saying it's code black?
It's probably like a code black. An MCI is pretty bad. So I
Okay,
think
okay.
they like red and black are usually the like, oh shit, bad stuff is happening codes.
Yeah. So she'll just kind of pop over the intercom. Code black or incoming code black ETA 10 minutes. Clear out 3 rooms in the ER. Code black ETA about 10 minutes.
Oh, shit. No,
You
not
hear
you,
this-
but yes, you also shit. But this is other shit going on.
You administer some of the laxatives to him.
And I'm also
and-
like, don't get anything on my boots now. And like, just...
Oh god, he's just super upset right now. He's like really pissed off right now.
Oh, you're gonna complain? You're gonna complain? Do you know how much
as-
money I make this hospital, shit boy?
Some of the nurses kind of hear this coming from one of the rooms, and they like kind of look at each other like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" Like they know who this is, but they're like, "Oh shit, did Dr. Dorian Noir just say that?" Yes. As that is happening, the clock strikes midnight, and there is a flash of lightning in the background and the sound of rumbling thunder.
Most wonderful time of the year.
The EMT student Samuel comes over to you, Dr. Hollow, and he says,
Do you know what a code
Dr.
black is?
Oh shit, dude. Samuel looks at you and he says, in my textbook, they said that usually means a mass casualty incident, I think. I'm not 100% sure, though. It's been a while since I've read that section. Does that mean we're going to get a lot of really sick people in here?
I think so. I don't know if we have enough doctors for the mass casualty. That's like, what, 4 people?
Dr. Noir, you did hear the page come out from Dr. Maggie Campbell on the intercom, and she said that there is a code black, which you know to be an MCI. You're putting it together with the last little bit of the tone you heard earlier. And you know that the protocol states to call the other physician that is on call and have them come to the hospital.
Right.
So,
all right, so he just like, he's pulling off his gloves and like, he's probably still blubbering. And he's like, yes, it's all right. It'll all come out in the end. You'll be fine. And he just like throws the gloves in the thing and walks out and goes and washes his hands. And then he goes and gets the phone and he dials up. Who's the other doctor?
Nurse Sue, as you're walking out of the room, Nurse Sue looks at you and she says, I'll take it from here, Doc. She kind of wants. She's like, I'm not having any of his shit.
He's like, good, because he's got plenty to give, but I know I can trust you not to be gentle, Sue. He doesn't deserve it. And he just.
Oh.
Sue's like, we'll make it quick. I'm due for a smoke break.
He's like, let me know when you're going.
Got it.
It's got yeah, so I'll go grab a phone and I'll call the other doctor on call.
So the phone rings several times, and there's an answer on the other line. Hello, Dr. Stromberg.
Hey, Stromberg. It's Noir. What's up?
Hey, not much. It's midnight. What did you need?
Oh, there's code black here.
I'm sorry. There's a code. There's a what? A code black.
Code black. Yes, my favorite color. But I don't think this is going to be good. Something bad happened, and we need you.
Jesus Christ! All right. Well, I'm at my nephew's house right now. I'm like 45 minutes away, but I'll start heading that way right now.
Yeah, just pedal to the metal, man. We'll take care of it till you get here.
Oh, fuck. All right. I'll be there in 45.
All right.
God damn it! And he hangs up the phone. At this point in time, there's the calm before the storm. Everybody heard the PA system come out. Everybody shuffled through their little code books and they looked at, oh fuck, code black MCI. Also, some of the nurses that were standing near the EMT guys heard something about someone getting mauled by a lion or a tiger, and they're like, what the fuck? So everyone is kind of running around in a little bit of disorganized chaos.
I'm actually going to try to find. I'm going to try to find Dr. Maggie. because she's the one who called it out. So,
Okay. You find Dr. Maggie. She's still near the PA system. She's kind of looking up. She was looking up some of the codes and stuff like that in the book. That's at the desk.
Dr. Campbell, what's going on?
Just got a call from County Dispatch. There was a what appears to be an attack from a large animal at around the just to list off the address. You know, the big mansion kind of over in that
Holy shit.
back area. Yeah. They're sending people out to as many of the different hospitals as they can in the area. We're getting 3 here.
Well, all right.
They said an attack of something like a lion or a tiger. They're some kind of big cat. And patients have been vomiting blood.
Wonderful. All right.
The phone starts to ring.
Pick it up. Dr. Noir, go.
Hey, this is a Gray County EMS here. We recently dispatched Code Black to you guys. There's an MCI. Well, it turns out there's going to be 3 more patients headed your way as well. There's more people at this party and people are getting sick. We don't know what's going on, but vomiting bright red blood. A couple of them passed out. Blood sugar
Was there an animal or something too?
No, that appears to be a totally unrelated event, and that is unfortunately going to be heading your way to the patients in critical condition. There are 2 patients, by the way, for that one.
Great.
So I'm sorry, but we've got 8 patients coming your way right now, and one of them's going by helicopter.
Huzzah. Okay. We'll thank you. Well, so there's 2 people got fucked up by an animal. And then there's 6 who ate some weird shit at a party and now are barfing up blood.
Yes.
Okay.
I called Stromberg. He's on his way.
Okay.
Where's Harrow?
How quickly could you get Adkins out of here? I'm gonna try and.
Oh, I would love to get rid of him right now.
Okay, I'm gonna try and finish up with my little friend.
Yes, we have 7 beds here, and we have.
There's 9 beds total, and
9
only
beds
5
total.
are open right now. So
5
what that
are
means
open.
is if you've got 8 additional people coming your way, 3 will be in the hallway.
Right.
Gotcha.
I will get rid of Atkins because we have serious people coming in. So I will deal with that right now. You do what you can for other people.
You hear more screaming coming from Atkins' room.
Yes, cue Painted Black by Rolling Stones.
and then you just hear, oh God!
All right, I'm gonna go back to Atkins and find Nurse Sue.
Sue, you don't have to look far because as you're heading towards the room, Sue comes running out of the room. This 40-year seasoned veteran, fucking nerves of steel, stomach of iron, comes out and she's she's gagging like
she's unleashed hell.
She goes, she's like, there's so she's like running out of the room, and just you hear horror coming from the other side of this. You hear
Different kind of
it,
scream.
You hear it splashing. You hear the shaking of bed. You hear someone's spirit leaving their body.
Oh no! Ray and stuff just says Atkins' ass is going to end up being a Halloween pinata.
Oh god!
Oh Jesus!
As this happens, there's a
God.
page over the intercom. Nurse to triage. Nurse to triage.
Listen, oh God, Atkins. Oh, you gotta stop that diet, man. Okay. I'm gonna just find like the nearest anyone that I can find. Just grab someone. That intern kid.
EMT Samuel. Brian, God damn it.
Brian, Brian, get over here.
He
Listen,
says, yes, doctor.
all right, listen. Oh God, Atkins, we
know where
have
this
to.
is going.
We have to get him out of here, okay? So when he's done with that, we're just gonna discharge him, okay? When he's done discharging, we're gonna discharge him, all right? And then we will someone's gotta clean that place up. So Hannibal Lecter's walking around here. Just find him and have him clean that up because we have 8 people coming who are in serious condition and we don't need his shit around infecting him.
As luck would have it, the mop bucket sound starts coming your way.
Oh, excellent.
There's one squeaky wheel, and you don't have to repeat yourself because he was right there apparently, and somehow you didn't notice. And he's just staring at you. And for this one, you're gonna make me a contempt roll.
Okay. Contempt.
Showing contempt. So it has a reverse set of results. So you get a miss if you roll really high, and a hit if you roll really low. And it's associated with your heart trait.
I have a negative for heart, so I'm good with this. So let's see. I got a 3, bitches.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The janitor, his eyes lock with yours as he hears the horror happening on the other side of this room. EMT Samuel kind of looks at the brief exchange between two of you locked in this duel of stares, the Count and Hannibal Lecter, and he just kind of like starts slinking away into the background. He just fades to black, and he just disappears from the scene. And then locked are the two eyes of both of you. And for a moment, this old creepy janitor, it looks like his will won't give out. but you hold that stare, and you know he heard what you said. You said he's going to clean that room.
Someone's doing it, and it's not me.
And he just looks at you and he goes. He kind of starts moving his mop bucket towards the room. Oh God!
I love Noir.
A page comes out on the radio again for a nurse to triage. It looks like all of the nurses are kind of running around hectically right now. Dr. Janice Hollow or Dr. Maggie Campbell, I would like for one of you guys to make a roll for me, kind of like asserting your authority and getting everybody to, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. So I don't know what that would be. It could be.
There's an assert your authority.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have one of you guys make me that roll. Whoever wants to.
Oh, Sarah?
I can. I don't think I'm going to be good at it. I'll tell you that much.
She comes over in her fucking.
It's a regular roll plus rapper connection.
Oh,
which would be +1 for everybody.
Okay.
Except for Dr. Noir.
Yeah, I can do that then. Yeah, because I was like, please don't be nerve. That's my shit.
Yeah,
stat.
It's not nerve or
okay. Well, yeah, I could do that.
That's also my shit.
It's an 8.
You got an 8? Okay, so what you do is you realize the situation is wildly getting out of control. You are going to have 8 patients, all of which could be in various stages of like severe or critical conditions. You're not entirely sure. You guys are grossly underprepared for this. So you resort to your training, you resort towards what you've learned at medical school and all of that stuff, and you start delegating responsibility to people. You say, hey, Nurse Robin, I need you to go ahead and start prepping the trauma room for the animal attack person. Nurse Nick, by the way, very tall, lanky guy, bald, exclusively works overnights, so he's probably seen Dr. Noir quite a bit. He's a very quiet guy, but he's also really competent. He's very good at his job. He's just super quiet. Like, other than his name, you guys aren't sure you know anything about this man. It's kind of strange. And then there's also one more nurse, so Nurse Sue, who is currently in the process of dealing with this shit. And there's also another nurse, Nurse Felicity. So Nurse Felicity, she is a travel nurse. So she is fairly new to this hospital. Nobody likes Nurse Felicity, not because of who she is. She's fairly nice. She seems to be pretty cordial with everybody. She's trying her best to fit in and get along, but she's also making 4 times what everybody else is making. So everybody fucking hates Nurse Felicity. She also, as a travel nurse, isn't entirely sure where everything in the hospital is. She's, oh, well, this isn't how we did it at my hospital. I'm not sure where this stuff is here. We used a different piece of equipment. So yeah. So you kind of assign these various roles. You take one of those nurses with you to triage Dr. Campbell. So because you had a soft success, the complication is you dish out enough delegation and you feel bad, and then you follow someone to triage.
Okay.
So you have Nurse Sue, who's the super veteran lady that's currently knee deep in shit. You have Nurse Robin, who is the very nice strawberry cupcake lady or strawberry shortcake lady. Nurse Nick, who is the very, very quiet guy, and then Nurse Felicity. Those are your 4 options.
Okay. Also, I fucked something up. Actually, doesn't make a difference. It was an 8, not a 9, because my reputation starts at 0 because I have the young tag. Forgot about that completely.
Oh, okay.
It's still the same though. 8 versus 9.
Right.
She will triage. She'll grab Nick actually because she figures she's seen him be cool under pressure.
Okay. Very well. So, as you're kind of delegating responsibility, you go over to Nick and you grab him, and after you say, "Hey, I need you to come to triage with me," you recognize that he was like, actually looked like he was doing something that was kind of productive, and you're like, fuck, I should have grabbed something else. But Nick is like, okay, and he starts following you to triage. You guys walk into the triage room, and there is a mom, and she's very concerned, and she's pacing frantically, and sitting in a chair in front of you is a little girl who has a pumpkin stuck on her head. It is a literal pumpkin that looks like it was smashed over her head.
Yes.
It's Mads!
That's
Mads
awesome,
picked
Troy.
him! Oh my god.
And the mom goes, "Oh my god, you have to help me. My daughter was unconscious. She wasn't moving. She wasn't talking. And I can't get this pumpkin off of her head. It's stuck. And I think she's bleeding and she has a concussion. And oh my god, she's going to die."
Hey,
So,
no.
context for new
And then the
viewers.
kid's like,
Yeah. That context for new viewers. Last year, pretty much 1 year ago, in
For Halloween.
our Kids on Bikes Halloween special, Jess's character smashed a pumpkin over a kid's head and knocked him unconscious.
Yeah. I was a bully, to be fair,
Yeah,
and I did my part well.
You did great. Yeah.
That poor kid. Oh, no.
So Dr. Campbell will immediately, bend down to the little one, just start kind of going like that. Hey, it's okay. We're gonna, work through this. She's like, my name's Dr. Maggie. Don't worry, we're gonna take that off you right quick. No problem.
as you are getting ready to help this patient, you hear the sound of a helicopter landing above on the landing pad of this hospital. You hear the sound of the ER doors swing open, and you hear massive commotion going on. And you now have a decision to make. You have to either stay with this patient and treat them, or you have to go back to the ER and deal with this fucking clusterfuck that's about to start.
Where is Dr. Noir? Because he could deal with the helicopter.
Yep. So you are still in the ER area, so you are available. So Dr. Maggie Campbell hears all this happening. You see all of this happening. So you see Casey and Cody. They come wheeling in patient, and this patient is they have gauze everywhere all over them. They've got 2 IV bags in them of fluid just going in them. And the patient is like in really, really, really bad shape. It looks like they got mauled like horrendously. Right behind them, you see another provider, somebody who's from an adjacent county. You've never seen them before, but they're wheeling in another person who looks very similar. And one of the interesting things about this, as you're coming up to these patients that are coming in, they're like, "Hey, trauma room open.
Yes.
Can we bring them in there?"
Yep, it's already open. There's already a nurse in there.
So they start kind of taking them over there, and Cody, the EMT that's there that you recognize, he's the kind of chubby guy that's very sarcastic and stuff. He comes over to you, Dr. Dorian, because you are near them when they're coming in. And as you head to the room, and maybe the CNA Bailey goes into the room too. She wasn't doing much of anything. EMT student goes in the room too. Cody goes, "Okay, ready for report?" Dr. Noir.
What? Oh, yes.
Are you ready? Are you ready for a report?
Yeah, go on.
So they're wheeling these guys in. They're in the process of transferring over to the trauma bed. Casey is grabbing another bed from a storage closet and bringing it into the same trauma room.
Oh,
and
perfect.
he goes, Okay, so we don't know the patient's names. They're not conscious at the moment. They aren't responsive to our questions or anything. We've got some IVs established. We've been pushing fluids. We've done our best to stem the bleeding. Siegfried and Roy is what we're calling them. They were mauled by a tiger.
An actual tiger?
Sorry. He looks at Casey and Casey's like, a lion. It was a lion. He's like, right. Siegfried and Roy were mauled by a lion. A real lion. Yes. I don't know. Excellent. I don't know. Right. He just looks at you and goes, I don't fucking know.
We'll figure it out later. What major wounds do I have to worry about here?
Yeah, bad. His blood pressure is shit over fuck. We've got pressors going. Air has been throwing all kinds of like cardiac dysrhythmias. It's really bad. We can stay and help out as much as we can, but we've got to get going. There's more patients that are headed this way.
Yeah, let me get where's Harrow? Harrow! Where are you?
Are you talking about me, Dr. Noir?
Yes, there are people dying here. I think we can sort of dispense with formalities.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, these two are really fucked up. Just pick one, and he'll just grab one, and just expect you to pick the other one.
Would this be like a display expertise or something like that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say it will probably be for you, Dr. Hollow. Well, you're an intern, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it would probably be a display expertise for you because you're like you're working on becoming an orthopedic doctor.
Yeah, but I still went to med school, right? Like this guy's
this is your
blood.
residency.
He needs
yeah. This is like keeping them alive, basically, at this point.
Yeah. So this particular patient in a regular setting would need like a trauma surgeon. So I think I'm gonna make you, Dr. Hollow, make a fake it till you make it roll.
Okay.
And then you, Dr. Dorian, as you guys walk into the room and you go, these guys are both really fucked up. Pick one. Cody looks at you and he goes, this one's face is pretty fucked up, Doc, if you want that one.
I'll deal with that one. And he just goes, fucked up.
I got it. Push this.
Okay.
Just ask any questions, he says. He's like getting his gloves on and stuff. He's like, I'm right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Noir, I'm also going to make you make a fake it till you make it roll because it's been a hot sec since you've done any sort of
fucking
life-saving trauma surgeries.
All right.
You're an expert plastic surgeon. There is a difference.
True. Okay.
Dr. Campbell, where are you at right now?
So, Dr. Campbell wants to, because she knows all of this is going on, but she knows it'll be better to help the kid because that's a get in, get out quickly. And we need the space.
Okay.
And she knows there are other people on staff and she knows she's like, all right, we can get this done in a half an hour.
Okay.
And basically wants to take care of that so that she can help them out easy and then take care of everything else.
Okay.
So this is feigned competence, right, Troy?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Or I think isn't the role fake it till you make it, or is it feigned competence?
No,
competence.
it's feigned competence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But it's
roll,
basically fake it till you
roll
make it.
plus
It's all
nerve. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I failed.
I did not. I got a weak hit. I got a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do is Casey and Cody are both in the room and they are both helping you right now, along with the CNA Bailey and the EMT student Samuel.
Oh, sweet. Rerolls. We got some rerolls if you want, Jess. I'm going to keep mine.
We officially have 3 rerolls, one for each of us.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I will
Ben.
take it.
Yeah,
thank you.
You're
Ben.
using
Thanks,
yours right now, Dr. Hollow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, much better. That was an 11.
Okay.
Strong
wow.
man.
So Dr. Hollow, you are completely successful,
Super
and
smart.
Dr. Dorian Noir is only partially successful.
Yeah, it says actually you fool some of the people around you, choose one person, but in this context, it might just be a partial success or something along those lines.
I think what happens is this. So, Doctor, first of all, both of you guys are going to take 1 point of stress. Very stressful situation for you both to be in. Dr. Dorian Noir. So you are kind of, you're assessing the patient kind of quickly. You are trying to listen to what Cody is telling you as he's giving you rapport. He's pointing out injuries. You're looking at the monitor as the EMT student is getting it hooked up, like getting vitals and stuff like that going for you to show on the monitor. The problem with you though, Dorian, is you kind of hyper focus on the patient's like face. You look at his face and you go into like, oh my God, reconstructive mode. This is going to be like an incredible thing if I can reconstruct this guy's face. You do that just long enough where you're not focusing on the vitals quite as much and you're not paying attention to the big picture. And this person is losing a lot of blood because you are taking too long looking at his face.
I was gonna say, I don't even know what you do when you like don't have identification and you don't have someone's blood type. You either start with like, do you start with like O, or do you do like a donor, or you do like a blood, or you do like a blood panel? I don't know how long blood panels take.
Yeah, so in a situation like this, in my personal experience, you would give them what the universal donor blood is, because a blood panel will take literally any amount of time that these patients might not have. Right. So, as with looking up their medical records. So,
we don't have their name, so like.
Right. So Dr. Janice Hollow, you are also out of your comfort zone, but something that you do in this situation that makes you more successful in treating this particular patient is you delegate responsibility to the other people in the room much better than Dr. Dorian Noir does. So you ask the EMT student who you have a rapport with, even though you don't know his name.
Brian, come here.
Yeah. Get over here. And you get him to start helping out, and you tell the paramedic Casey, hey, I need you to do this. Bailey, I need you to go grab blood from the blood bank or whatever, get the trauma supplies ready, all this stuff. So you're ahead of the 8 ball, so to speak, on that one. Dr. Maggie Campbell, you made the decision through some deductive reasoning to treat the patient because it's going to be a quick in and out thing. And you say, you know what, I can get this person in, get them out, no problem, right? You are able to, with the help of Nick, remove the pumpkin from the girl's head. The mom is freaking out because you're cutting the pumpkin off of this little girl's head.
Yep.
And you're doing your best to try to calm down the mom. She's hysterical. Nurse Nick, competent provider, not great with talking. He's not doing anything to try to calm anybody down. He's just working.
But he's getting it done. But he's getting it done.
But he is getting it done. He's doing it well. So you're going to suffer a stress from this as well.
Okay.
When you get the pumpkin off of this little girl's head, you notice there is a huge lump on her head, and that's kind of concerning to you. You look at that lump and you say, shit, this might not be a quick in and out thing. The little girl says she feels like she's going to throw up. She feels real tired. The mom's like, oh my God. She's looking on her phone at like WebMD. She's like, my daughter has a concussion. She's going to die. And the little girl hears her mom freaking out and starts freaking out too. So you are stuck in this situation for just a moment.
That's okay.
Okay. Right.
And actually, the other aspect of Maggie being young is I ignore the first stress I take in a game.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Solid. I love that.
Benefit. Yep.
Awesome. As this is happening, you hear those trauma doors open again, and you hear Sue in the lobby go, oh, God damn it, bring them into 5 and 6. And sure enough, you have 2 more patients that are here, and you hear the sound of vomiting going on.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes.
Buckets. Lots of buckets.
Dr. Noir, you quickly check your watch, and 12 minutes have gone by since Stromberg said he was on his way.
Oh, come on, Stromberg. All right. Is my guy like, well, first of all, is my guy like dying, or like, do we get him stabilized, or like, what's up with him?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say you are currently, you are completely preoccupied with this patient. You are not able to go anywhere else. This patient is taking your undivided attention.
Yep.
Dr. Janice Hollow, you, however, have secured yourself a little bit more leeway. You get your patient stable enough.
Perfect.
Where
Paige, whoever he needs to go to next.
Yeah. So he's probably going to stay in the trauma bay, but you are able to grab a nurse to have her, the nurse substitute care for this patient.
Great. Perfect. Keep an eye on him and his vitals.
All right. And it just so happens that it's nurse. Let's see.
Nurse Felicity. Here, watch him.
Nurse Felicity. She
Earn your
comes
money.
in. Oh, damn.
I didn't say that in character. I just said.
Oh, no,
so
you
sweet.
fucking definitely said that in character.
All right,
You
fine.
have-
I'm just like trying to keep this. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm trying to keep this guy alive. And I'm like, yeah, earn your
Nurse
money.
Felicity comes in and she sees this person and she's like, okay. And
Nurse
she
Felicity?
hesitates a little bit.
Yeah, he's all
And
set.
then
Keep it
fucking
to-
Dr. Noir says, yeah, and earn your money. And she like looks at the doctor like, huh?
He's fine. Ignore that. He does that to everyone. Just monitor his vitals. Make sure he stays stable. Page if you need anything. Help Dr. Noir if he needs anything else. Dr. Noir, I think you missed a hole or two.
I think you're right. He says he's like blood is like
As he's
spreading
getting
all
hit in the
over
face
him.
with
It's like-
arterial bleed. Oh, I love it. Okay, Dr. Janice Hollow, you are now freed up, and there are 2 more patients that are being wheeled into beds, rooms 5 and 6.
All right. I will head that way.
Sue kind of looks at you and she says, I'll start in 5. And she's like, I need a smoke. She runs into room 5, leaving you in room 6.
Oh, God. Okay.
The person that is in the room with this person bringing the patient in is a sheriff's deputy. And you recognize him. And his name is Deputy Shitstool. And he is affectionately known by many as Shitstool, although nobody would say that to his face. This deputy has very minimal medical training. I mean, maybe CPR and maybe basic first aid. That's it. And he looks at you and he says, are
Deputy.
you taking care of this patient or?
Yes, I've got it. You were there on the scene.
Yeah. So this shitbag over here was basically being a shitbag. I don't really know. At a party, having fun, doing drugs, doing illegal shit. Probably didn't tell his parents, all that stuff. Anyhow, tried to run from me, right? So naturally, I go after him. He's like super intense right now. And he goes, kid's fast, I'll give him that. Taser's faster. Got him. 2 prongs, 1 in the back, 1 in the ass. Boom, went down, right? Get him in cuffs,
Okay.
get him up, starts swearing, starts cussing at me, pretty typical disrespectful teen. Dealt with that before, no big deal, right? Go to put him in my car, smacks his head pretty hard on the way in. My mistake. Starts puking blood everywhere. So I don't know, it's probably drugs. That's what I got for you.
Did you see at all what they were taking or eating or ingesting?
Sorry, he ran and I chased. I'm not an EMT, I'm a cop.
Okay.
I uphold the
All
law.
right. Well, we'll take it over from here, deputy. You better get back out there.
Oh my God. He's like, as he gets ready to leave the room, he looks at him, he goes, hey, maybe next time don't run from the fucking cops and this won't happen. And he's like, I'm gonna spark test my taser. And he walks out of the room and in the ER, he's like, spark testing his taser as he walks away. God, I hate this. He walks out of the ER. Anyways, you have a
Okay.
patient that is looking very pale.
That was special. All right. Hi, I'm Dr. Hollow. You had quite an adventure today. Are you able to tell me your name? Is he?
Yeah, so you look at the patient, you're talking to him, kind of assessing him generally, and you notice that he's very, very pale, he's very, very sweaty, and he's shivering.
Ooh,
And
okay.
he kind of he hears you talking and his eyes track to you, but they move very slowly. And he kind of tries to mutter a couple words, but they're incomprehensible.
Ooh,
He's got like
okay.
bright red blood that goes down his mouth and on his shirt as well.
Okay. Is this an expertise role?
Yeah, I think given the just how grossly understaffed you are, more than an expertise role. I
More
think-
feigning competence?
Yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
have you do that. And the reason is because typically speaking, the physician will see a patient after they've been kind of triaged, after the nurses have answered all the questions, they've put in what drugs they need, all that stuff. You're kind of starting, you're the very first contact with this patient.
Yeah.
So yes.
I'm just checking that he's breathing and conscious and basic stuff. That is a 8. So weak hit.
Okay. So you kind of start going over and you start kind of hooking up the monitor to this patient. Again, it's not something that you do very often. You know how to do it, but you're not super quick at it. You
forgot to push the button.
Like you forget to turn it on. You get everything on and you're like, oh my God, that's terrible. And then you're like, oh fuck, I didn't turn it on.
It's not beating.
Wow, I don't have anything on the monitor. Oh, it's off, damn it. Lightning flashes in the background and loud thunder bangs through the lobby, and it kind of, the lights flicker just a little bit. And the little girl that's getting that just got the pumpkin cut off her head starts to wail. You look at the patient and you, based on what you got, the brief description you got from dispatch, you assume it could be some sort of drug or some sort of toxin. That's the most that you get. You don't know really where to go from here. You're combing through your memory. Make me a standard brains roll.
A standard brains roll. Okay.
Yeah, so 2d6 plus whatever your brains modifier is.
I got a 7. So weak.
You're like, oh God, I could maybe call the other hospital, the level 1 trauma center, but they've got a whole shitload of patients going there. I don't know if I'll get through. The best thing that you can think of is you're like, poison control. I'll call poison control and see if they can give me any information. So you kind of get the patient secured and you're like, oh, I'll be right back.
I'm also going to touch base with Nurse Sue and see if her patient maybe was talking and maybe could talk more about what they just ate or adjusted and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you come out of the room and you're going to talk to Nurse Sue, and she looks at you and she's like, they're not saying anything. I don't know what's going on. They're maybe drugs or something. I'm not entirely sure. She goes, you're a doctor. Do you have any idea what's going on?
Unfortunately, Nurse Sue, not a clue. I'm gonna try calling poison control.
She kind of looks at you and she's like,
that's probably not right.
Okay. And she just like walks away abruptly. Dr. Campbell, what are you doing?
What's the situation with Tiny Tina over here?
Well, so Tiny Tina has a big bump on her head, and she'll probably need an x-ray. You want to make sure that she doesn't have a brain bleed or anything like that going on, or not an x-ray, but like an MRI, CT scan. The problem is you have 2 critical trauma patients in the other room that will also need that. So CT is going to be backed up.
Thank you.
CT is going to be backed up. You're not really sure what to do in this situation. The definitive care that she needs right now, she can't get because they're going to prioritize the critical trauma patients.
Okay. So she will look to Nick and just say, can you run to my office? Right next to my desk, there is a big toy box. There's a little Polly Pocket house in there. Could you just grab that and all the little Polly Pockets inside and bring it back here? Just real quick.
Sure. And he kind of leaves and he comes back very quickly with it.
Yep.
He's so jogging down the hall, gives it to you.
Perfect. And then she'll just turn to like, head on down to trauma, see if they need anything else. I'll take this from here.
Sounds good. Nick exits the room and the mom looks at you and she goes, a dollhouse? Are you fucking serious? Is this how you treat patients that have had traumatic head injuries with dollhouses?
So we've got a bunch of other patients here. So right now, until we're able to get her into the MRI, which is just going to be real quick and real easy, we've got some people in line first, so she can just want to take a breather, something to distract her with.
God, this is outrageous. Is this what I pay tax dollars for? This publicly funded hospital? This is outrageous. And she's just kind of like storming around being a giant fucking Karen is what she's being. She also goes, also, what is that smell? That is terrible. That is a horrible smell.
We have one janitor on staff, ma'am, and he is currently working on treating it. If you feel ill, I'd be more than happy to get you a bucket.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, I feel like that could be a role for Mrs. Compassionate. What do we think here?
Yeah.
Roll contempt.
With contempt.
Yeah,
Roll
let's
contempt.
make that a roll. Roll contempt.
Try, you're triggering the public librarian!
And as this happens, as that smell starts to permeate, there's just chaos. There's people running around everywhere. There's like literally blood on the floor everywhere from people being wheeled in, throwing up blood everywhere and stuff. And you just see the room that Adkins was previously in, and the door opens. You see this man in this fucking Hannibal Lecter outfit with a mop, and there's just a tiny piece of shit on his face.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
He just pops out, and just as Adkins' soul left his body, a piece of this man's soul leaves his body as well, and he just has utter contempt. If you could see him right now, Dr. Dorian, you would think your tires are going to be slashed.
Oh, the snow getting home and Dracula
scratch
tonight.
on his car.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh God, I love it. What did you get for your contempt roll,
didn't
Dr.
roll. I
Campbell?
wanted to make sure. So not good because I rolled an 11.
Yeah, so that's very bad. So that's a terrible failure. She
Wants to talk to someone in charge and gets to talk to Dr. Noir.
Yes, that's what she does. She
I got you
insists
back.
she insists on talking. She's like, I want to talk to the CEO of this hospital. You treat patients this way. This is how you talk to patients. My daughter she could have a brain bleed. She could be dying right now. And you're going to tell me to throw up in a bucket? Get me your CEO now. And she like screams at you to do this.
I would be more than happy to give him a call. However, he does live at least an hour away and is not on call for tonight.
Now.
She just ignores her and looks at the little girl. And she says, all right, hon. Everything's going to be okay. You're just going to have a little headache. We're going to take you in for a picture of your head in just a little bit. But there's other people in line before you. So have some fun. Try and breathe. I'll find you some Halloween candy, okay?
She kind of like sniffles a little and wipes pumpkin guts off her face.
All right. She'll give her a little towel and help kind of wipes it. You are doing so good. All right. I'll come back for you in a little bit, okay, friend?
Okay.
Okay. And she turns and heads off and just like...
Oh, you need a stress from that too. Take another stress. You have to take a stress.
Yeah, I know.
Dealing with a Karen.
Dealing with a
Confidence.
fucking Karen, bro. Love
That's
it.
worse than
Also,
the-
we apologize in advance to any Karens out there.
No, we don't. Fuck you.
No, people named
Yeah.
Karen.
People
Yes.
named Karen, not Karen
there
type
are
people.
Karens named Karen who aren't
Yes.
Karens, but
Yes.
real Karens who fit the meme.
Yes.
Fuck you, people.
If
All right.
if your name is Karen, we apologize. If you are a Karen, fuck you.
Yes.
I love that. Good distinction, Dr. Noir.
Yes.
At this point, Dr. Hollow. I'm sorry, Dr. Noir, it's been a hot sec since we've been to you.
Yeah, is this guy
You
gonna
got-
die or live? Like, whatever. I got shit to do. Plug him
Yeah,
up. Come on.
So you you know what? That's a great question. As you are assessing this person and the CNA Bailey is kind of standing there not doing much. Samuel's looking at you like, can I get a blanket or something? Like, can I help you, doctor? What do you need?
Which one is, what does Samuel do now? Bailey's a CNA, so she's
He's a
like,
student.
Yes.
yeah, right.
Samuel's the student. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Come here,
Samuel
come here.
is an EMT student.
Do you have gloves on?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Right,
Yep,
good.
be
Stick your
inside,
finger
be
here. And he
safe.
just grabs his hand and like sticks it in something to like stop the guy from bleeding.
Put
It's like,
pressure.
Just hold it there. Put pressure on it.
Apply pressure.
He holds pressure, and where you're having him hold pressure is on the inside of this man's thigh, which was spurting blood. And
That's the femoral artery. That's, you know that, right? If you
You
didn't know, you
betcha.
do.
And-
Okay.
he says, Doc, I don't feel a pulse. I think there's supposed to be a pulse here, right? Femoral artery, you just said it.
Wait, hold
And
on.
you look over at the monitor and you go to check a pulse in the guy's, and you look at the monitor and sure as shit you see little beats, and then it goes bing.
Oh.
And you have a patient that's coding in the room.
When you get press a button or something and call some people in, like zap the
No,
stat,
that's
right?
you. It's you.
Shit,
You
that's
break
me.
out a crash cart. Yeah,
Right.
it's you. You're the doctor.
Boom.
The person they would be calling is you.
Right.
Code red is paged over the intercom in the ER for trauma bay room 1.
And I'm like, oh wait, that's me.
That's correct. They would be
Oh,
calling
you-
you.
And then I'll be like, fuck. All right, I'll just get the little crash cart and boom, zap this guy.
So you're working with, it's you've got an EMT student and a CNA in the room right now. I think
Bailey.
Nurse Robin walks in too.
Oh,
She's the first to run in when she hears the code red. She's like, oh God, Doc, what do you need? She's like got blood on her like strawberry cupcake outfit. Like it kind of blends in.
yeah,
so
looks
it's
like
not
strawberry
as bad.
jam. All right, wait, quickly. He's flatlining. He's lots of blood lost. We need some. We don't know the blood type. We need some O in here, and we need to shock him. So I'll shock him.
Okay.
I just want to shock him either way. So I'm shocking this man regardless of whether he needs it or not.
Oh God, I love it.
If he lives, he will remember it. If he dies, I tried.
So totally like unrelated. This is obviously, so the cool thing about this is it's a medical drama, but like you don't need to know anything about medicine.
Yeah, which
but it's
clearly
funny
I don't. Yeah.
Because it's funny because in character for Dr. Dorian Noir, this person on the monitor is showing just a flat line, which is called asystole, which is a non-shockable cardiac rhythm. So doctor's like, clear. It works perfectly.
We're going to be very, very
confidence,
thorough. We're going to try everything. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
throw the kitchen sink at him.
That's right. This is how Noir. This is how
It's
Noir
like
rolls. Okay.
Drugs.
Drugs. What do we got? Give him some.
Something.
We got some heroin. Give him that. All right.
Yeah, Nurse Robin is
actually-
Nurse Robin is doing her very best. She's grabbing blood. She's hooking it up to the IVs. She's, you're like, you EMT student Bob, hand here. He's like, one hand here, one hand here, one foot
It's
here.
like
He's
musical
like doing,
chairs
like,
with this guy.
Trying to establish
Oh, I love it. Hey, pick up your heavy ass textbook. Put it here.
just takes one of the spikes out of his dog collar and just like sticks it in something. Hey,
Dr.
buddy,
Campbell
buddy.
is, as you are walking out of the room, you hear the code red get called in the trauma bay. You see Nurse Robin run in. You see the CNA Bailey run out. You're not sure. She's not moving with a ton of purpose. She's heading in a direction. Okay. What do? You see Dr. Janice Hollow is currently on the phone at the physician's desk.
Okay.
is in control.
How many other patients are there that need attending?
So at this point, another patient came in that was vomiting blood. Every bed is now full, and you have 3 more patients that last you knew were still headed your direction.
Do I need to roll something here to see if this guy dies or what?
Yes, you will. Give me just a quick second.
Is Buzz Lightyear still here, or because I know he went in for his X-ray? Is he still here?
We'll say he's back in the room right now, and he is just kind of waiting for discharge paperwork. It wasn't broken. Someone just needs to write him a script for some pain meds, and
Yep. So she'll do that. That way they can free up a bed for the person coming in. Give him his little bag. She'll just find like a bunch of Reese's and put him in a little goodie bag.
you're fine. Here's drugs. Here's candy.
There's probably like one room where there's just like abandoned piles of
It's
candy.
literally like passes the bag of Reese's to the child, passes the script to the mom, and she'll try and keep the calm. She's like, all right, gonna give this to your mom, gonna go grab this, and she'll just kind of, explain to the mom what it is. That'll make your ankle feel better. You might not be able to walk so well tonight, but give it a couple days rest, put some ice on it, stack it up on a couple pillows when you're sitting on the couch or in bed, and she'll then like pull out the candy. Happy Halloween, bud.
The boy lights up when you give him Halloween candy, and the mom looks at you, and she's kind of reviewing the discharge paperwork real quick, and she asks you a couple quick questions about the medication that you gave, and she looks at you and she says, Man, you guys are really busy right now, huh?
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise, but we got everything under control.
She says, well, thank you so much for being so professional and so compassionate to my son, despite craziness going on. She goes, I really appreciate it, and I'm going to make sure that I write a letter to your supervisor or whoever I can.
I'm going to cry.
She just starts weeping.
So yeah, it's just like after that, it's like, this is why I love my job. This is why I love my job. It's like, and she'll just like, oh no, of course. Listen, I'm always happy to help. That's what we're here for. So
he's like, thank you so much. And she's like, all right, come on, buddy. And she grabs her boy and he kind of like hops out. Thanks again, Doc. Like they're walking out and you made his night.
And then as soon as they're leaving, she's like, okay, get this room clean and get the new person in.
Room needs to be cleaned first, though. It's got to be turned over.
That's what I meant by cleared out. Yeah.
Okay, so you're like, where is Jeffrey? And as you're looking around for the janitor, you just hear there, and there's a mop bucket coming.
And she turns and she locks eyes with him and she goes, "This is going to be the easiest clean of the night. Can you do me a quick favor?" And she just points to the room behind her. Little guy just had a sprained ankle. Just got to do a quick clean down before we can get the next person in. Thank you. And she just heads off in the next direction.
He looks very pale. Okay. He walks into
that's
the room.
That's why she's like, he just had a sprained ankle. It's okay. Like,
he has clearly suffered more stress than any of you in this moment. His character is one stress away from dying. Oh, God, I love it. Okay, so he's working on getting the room turned. There is a patient that was brought in. There's just kind of a person that's standing there. He's got fire pants on. He's got a shirt that says it says Gray County Volunteer Fire Department. And he's standing there and he's like, can I give you patient report? We've got to go. We got more patients. He goes,
we're cleaning out the room now.
He goes, okay, so we've got here, he kind of looks at you and he says, this right here is Tony Finks. Tony Finks was having a party tonight at his parents' house. His parents were out of town. I guess there were a lot of people there. Tony said that he started feeling not so great at the party, fell down through a table. He's got a little bit of a couple lacerations and abrasions on his side from that. And he said shortly after that, he started throwing up what looks like bright red blood. That's all I got. I don't have any medical history or anything. We were just kind of just go. He goes, I don't even really normally do this.
No, I super appreciate it.
And the patient is kind of in the bed and he's like holding his side and he like coughs a bit more and pukes a little bit more of this like bright red. And he's very, very sweaty. He's kind of shivering as well. And he looks at you and he goes, oh, help me, Doc.
All right. We got it. We'll take care of it. Don't worry. I just kind of looks like, did you eat anything out of the ordinary? Drink anything out of the ordinary?
Ooh, I want you to make me a roll for this. I don't know if there's a role that is most similar to investigation.
There's
maybe act professionally. I don't know.
I would say it's probably either act professionally or show compassion.
Ooh. I'll give you show compassion because I know you.
I'll take my +1.
Yeah.
That is an 8.
You're assuming this guy and all his friends were like tasered and beat by Deputy Shitstool for breaking the law. So you try a different approach and you try being empathetic and compassionate to this person. And Deputy Shitstool is a great guy. He's just a little rough around the edges sometimes. But yeah, you talk to him and you're like, did you eat anything out of the ordinary? Anything like that? And he's like, I mean, we were all drinking a lot. There was like punch. We had like Jello shots, Jaeger bombs. There were like snacks and stuff. I don't really know. And there's something about his demeanor that makes you think maybe he's not telling you everything. We are going to pivot to Dr. Janice Hollow. You have been on the phone with the Poison Control Center now for about 2.5 minutes.
Here are the symptoms.
Finally, somebody picks up the phone. And they say, thank you for calling the Poison Control Hotline. This is Agent Stanley, number 0774156. I have to let you know that this is a recorded line, and the recordings may be used for training purposes. What can I help you with today? Whom am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Dr. Janice Hollow from Gray County Medical Center. We have a couple patients that have come in displaying strange symptoms. We believe it to be some sort of toxin or poison. We're hoping that you can identify what it is from the symptoms provided.
He says, absolutely, would be happy to help with that. Just 1 minute here, and you hear keyboard typing.
Clicking, yeah.
And he goes,
a little bit of an emergency, so if you could do your best.
Absolutely understand. I am working on that here. Just a couple
Sips
things
coffee.
I gotta fill out here.
Like,
Yeah.
files now.
This fucking guy. He says, oh, for patient's name and date of birth.
We do not have the patient's name or date of birth.
Oh, okay. Just a moment, please.
Your call is important for us. Thank you for continuing to hold.
You have value. You are worth it.
Today is going to be a great day.
Yeah, I love it.
That's great.
This hurts physically.
He comes back.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Back and he says, "Okay, go ahead with the patient's symptoms and presentations."
Sure. Very pale, shivering. I'll just list off the symptoms: vomiting, blood, blah 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 blah.
He says, "Okay. I just have a list of questions I have to go through and ask you here." And he just starts rattling off just like a shitload of questions, like where is your geographical location? Like patient demographic, all of this shit. And he goes, after probably another 5 minutes on the phone with this guy, you're like, shit is exploding around you. There's like people running everywhere. Like every time you see Robin, her poor strawberry shortcake outfit is just more strawberry. There's just blood everywhere. No. Meanwhile, like Nick still hasn't said a word to anybody. He's just like going around, just like kicking ass, just like bringing people shit, doing stuff, starting IVs, pushing drugs, just like kicking ass.
Nick, go double check Dr. Noir's work.
Cold.
Shit, cold. Do you actually say that, Tim, as you're on the phone?
Maybe.
Okay, no, that's perfect. Let's see. That's not going to be an asserting authority because it's God, what should that be? Can you make a rapport roll, a reputation roll? Not reputation, I'm sorry, connection.
I can, yes. That is something that
I'll have you do that. Make a connection roll.
I think I have +2 actually with is it with Nick or Dr. Noir that I'm rolling for?
With Nick.
With Nick, okay. That is a 7.
He kind of stops what he's doing. You notice he has like a tray full of things, and he's like, okay. And he places the tray down and he goes and walks into the trauma room. And it's like, it seems like every time, none of you have pieced this together yet because it's always somebody else, but he's in the middle of doing something probably very productive and vital.
Yep.
He always gets interrupted for some bullshit. He's like, oh, okay. Goes and walks.
Can I make that roll now? Because if he dies,
boom. Nick walks in the room.
No, wait. Let me make the roll first. Do you mind? Because if he dies, I want to while he's walking, I walk out and just be like, this one died, and just like go to the next one.
I love it. Make your roll.
All right.
It's going to be a competency roll.
Show expertise.
Yes, expertise roll.
All right, so that's plus brains, right?
Yep.
I actually don't know.
Yes, expertise is plus brains.
This guy is what's going for this guy is that I'm good at that, and that is a 10.
Ooh, wow, strong hit.
Success.
Yeah.
So what has happened is you have delegated to the EMT student, Samuel, so much hold pressure here on these key spots that you've shocked this unshockable rhythm. And Robin came in with all the drugs and just started slamming like epi, ammy, epi. Just like boom, boom, boom. And miraculously, this guy, the first one to notice is the fucking EMT student who's holding pressure on a femoral artery with his left foot. And he goes, I think I feel a pulse again.
So while we're doing that too, Dr. Noir's like, I bring you closer to God. It's like I'm shocking him. I'm shocking him in rhythm to Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, the guy, he has a pulse on the monitor again, and you are finally in the process of somewhat stabilizing this man.
All right, excellent.
Nick walks in, and you're afforded a moment to leave the room if Nick takes over.
Perfect timing. I'll just tell him that, like, I brought this man back from the very brink of death. He was clearly seeing Osmodeus himself as he dangled over hell, but I have saved him. Get him stabilized. I have much to do, and I just like walk out.
Nick just has like more shit in his hands, and he's just like, he looks at Robin like, what the fuck am I doing?
And as I walk out, I see Harrow, Dr. Harrow, and I'm like, I saved one, Harrow. That's one. It's like, where's the next one? How many do you have tonight?
Christian, I need to know, you purposefully mispronouncing her name, or are you fucking up by accident?
I will fuck up purposely.
Okay, I just want to know.
Yeah.
That's funny. As you leave the room too, you hear Nick go, I'm switching to days. Perfect. So, CDC, Dr. Janice Hollow, you have been on the phone now for a total of, between waiting and all of the generic answers and all that stuff, you have been on the phone now for probably 15 minutes. And the other 3 patients that they said were coming, they're here and they're in the hallway. 2 of them are in the hallway. One is in the room that Jeffrey just finished cleaning. And they're all in various states of vomiting bright red. And they all have very similar symptoms. And the CDC, or not CDC, I'm sorry, the Poison Control Center says, Miss, or doctor, sorry, we believe that this toxin is either some sort of cleaning product or organic compound.
Narrows it down?
Which encompasses like fucking everything.
Oh,
so
okay.
Basically after 15 minutes, this guy was a fucking total waste of time.
Okay.
He says, I recommend treating the patient based on their symptoms according to your local protocols and department's SOPs. Can you go ahead and I want you to see if you can stay cool under this, because you just wasted a whole bunch of fucking time. So take 1 stress from this.
Okay.
And also,
is that a guts roll? Is that a heart roll?
Yeah, no, a nerve roll. It's definitely a nerve roll.
Nerve roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. I got a 5. Nope, I got a 4.
Oh God, this guy got on your last nerve. So you hang up the phone, and then the next person that you interact with, you're gonna explode on. It just so happens to be Dr. Noir.
I saved one, Harrow.
I saved one, girl.
And he
You hang up the phone.
And he says your name wrong.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, get it, Dr. Hollow. How's this go?
1? Dr. Noir, we have like 10 patients here.
God, there's only 9 left.
Keep going, do your job.
What's wrong with you? He says, and he just walks to the next one.
Oh my God.
What's wrong with you? Oh, I love it. Meanwhile,
I hate
Maggie,
Halloween.
You are in the room with what did I say? Tony? Tony thinks.
Yeah.
Tony thinks. And you feel like maybe he is not giving you all of the information that.
Yeah. So she's gonna kind of, she's obviously still taking care of him, like doing all the basic, like checking temp, vital, just doing all that, whatever. Mm-hmm. She's also just gonna be kind of talking to him casually, and she'll be like, I know a lot of parties can get out of hand if certain substances are around. And listen, I'm not gonna tell anyone anything you're not comfortable with me telling them. I just want to know everything that happened so that I can best make you and the others here feel better. So if there's something that you took that might have contributed to this, I really need to know. And she's basically trying to convince him. She's like, I'm not going to tell your parents. Did you do drugs?
Right. He kind of asks you to like come a little closer, and you notice maybe he's getting a little more lethargic. You're not really sure. You move a little closer to him, and you kind of glance over at the monitor, and you notice that his heart rate is steadily climbing. It's getting much faster. His heart rate's in like the 160s right now. And as you get a little closer, he looks at you, and he's shivering. He's pouring sweat. His body is just saturated with sweat. And he looks at you and he says, we smoked a little weed, and we had some mushrooms. We had some LSD at the party. And he looks at you and he's like, Doc, am I gonna die? And he starts to cough a little bit, and you notice that his eyes start to bleed. And I think I'll have you go ahead and make me either a guts or a nerve roll on that one.
I'm gonna go with guts.
Guts, okay.
That's one of her +1s.
Okay.
Because she deals with children, and children excrete all of the bodily fluids.
That's true.
I'm gonna use my reroll that Ben gave me.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Love those rerolls, guys. Thank you.
It's only a 6.
Oh no.
Is that a partial success?
No, that's
No.
just a
It's a
fail.
total
Needs to
failure.
be a 7.
He goes, Doc, am I gonna die? And as he says that, his eyes start to roll back into his head, and he starts to seize on you. He starts to have a seizure in front of you.
Boy.
And you're gonna take another point of stress from that one.
Yep.
And now you are in the room with someone who is actively seizing by yourself.
Yep.
Dr. Noir, you're over here.
I, Sarah, don't know what the fuck I'm able to do, but Dr. Campbell does.
That's okay.
So
Yeah.
she's gonna just start doing what's necessary.
Perfect. You start going to action and make me a expertise roll. You are long in your residency a little bit. You are a pediatrician. You have dealt with seizures before in pediatric patients, and you know exactly what to do.
That's an 11.
Ooh,
Nice.
know exactly
Nice.
what to do.
You go into action, Sarah. You are over here. You get the patient's airway secured. You make sure to like pad the area around him so he's not gonna like smack his head or roll off the bed or anything like that. And you grab the appropriate medications. You grab some Versed or whatever to try to stop his seizure. You put him on a cardiac monitor because his heart rate's going through the roof. And you're working quick. You are super focused. And perhaps you think back to an incident where you weren't able to save somebody, and that rings in your head, and you spend a lot of time like fixating on that moment and what you could have changed and what you could have fixed, and all of those things are very clear in your mind as you're just kicking ass and totally succeeding at dealing with this very critical patient right now. At this point, I'm gonna say the mom walks out of that room that her daughter was in, and she goes, excuse me, is there a doctor around that I can talk to? And either Dr. Janice Hollow or Dr. Noir, you're both in kind of like the
Dr.
central
Noir
area.
just walked out and is like, he's on a high, and he sees that, he's like, I don't know what's wrong with Harold, but I'll deal with this one. And he's just like, yes, madam, what can I help you with?
She says, oh, thank you so much. She says, my daughter she was hit in the head. She has a massive bump on her head. I'm afraid she might have some sort of bleeding or something going on. I don't know. I really, really would like someone to help me. I know you guys are busy, but can you please help? She says, I've been nothing but patient and respectful and courteous, and I understand your situation. Can you please help?
I didn't hear any of what happened because I was in. Yeah, okay. All
Perfect.
right, he looks around and is like blood spraying and chaos, and it is just
You're
like
the only one. You're the only one that can help right now,
no,
Dr.
I'm not gonna like clearly also there's other people who need me, right?
Right.
So
right.
so I'm just gonna be like, let me take a quick look, okay? And I'll just take a quick look at the little girl and I'll be like, hey.
She's like playing with her dolls and she's like, and she looks at you and she's kind of like,
You all right?
she goes, I get hit with a pumpkin.
Who would do
She's
such
got
a thing to a
pumpkin-
darling
she's
girl?
got pumpkin guts in her hair.
What sort of horrible person would smash a pumpkin over a darling child's head?
Smashing pumpkins on a child's head.
Horrible.
Another child, clearly.
Clearly some awful child. So I'm just gonna I'll do shine the flashlight in her eye, shit, the basic concussion kind of check real quick.
Make me a compassion check.
I'm not good at that.
Not your strong point.
No, not at all. Yeah, that's a 5.
Okay, so what happens is the mom, who was very polite and courteous to you, she thinks that you I don't know, she thinks you inappropriately did something to her kid,
Jesus.
because her kid screams or something, and she just loses her shit. And she starts screaming and she's like, I'm going to sue this hospital. This is fucking ridiculous. She turns into Karen again and she grabs her kid and she says, we're leaving. And if my daughter dies, it's going to be your licenses and it's going to be your asses. And she just and the little kid.
So she has to sign a discharge paper on her own if she leaves.
Yeah. So she's leaving and she's refusing to sign any paperwork. So
I don't know what the protocol would be about that.
And unfortunately, you've got a lot of sick people here that need your attention right now.
So I'm going to act with contempt towards her, but in a good way.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to be like, madam, I just plugged up someone whose face was ripped off by a lion. There are people shitting and puking blood all over the place out here. Your daughter got hit in the head with a pumpkin.
The janitor goes,
She'll be fine. You need to sit yourself down with your too wide cheekbones, your disgusting complexion, and your awful lips, and shut the fuck up. We will get to your kid when we do.
Oh shit! Go ahead and make me a contempt roll.
Now that actually, my minus actually benefits me here.
Yes.
Right.
So that is a 6.
Yes.
So I think that's a hit.
Partial success,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
No, yeah.
So what happens is you kind of put her in check, okay? And she does sign the paperwork. She says, give me the paperwork, I'll sign the paperwork, just anything to get out of this godforsaken place. And she signs the paperwork. And but Robin, the nurse, is coming out of the room that she was in. And she kind of heard that exchange.
Is she still covered in blood?
Even more this time. And she heard the previous
gonna
exchange.
be full carry.
She heard the previous exchange that you had with that Adkins guy, and she heard this exchange too as she's coming out of the room. And after the lady kind of starts to walk away, Nurse Robin looks really uncomfortable with you. She's doesn't know what to do.
This is the one I dunked on about not making money, right? Or making
No, Robin's the sweet strawberry
Robin's a
shortcake
sweetheart,
one.
right? That Felicity.
Yeah,
Robin's the really nice, compassionate nurse, and she kind of she hurriedly starts moving in a different direction, and she quickly stops by where you are, Janice Hollow, and she says, "I don't know how much more of this I can take. Dr. Noir's out of control."
What did he do now?
Just, have you heard the way he's talking to patients? We're gonna get sued. She's like, can you maybe say something to him? She's like the little fucking strawberry shortcake thing on her head is bouncing, it's on a little spring.
All right. Go take care of the patient in trauma room 4. I will go talk to him. I've got it. I've got a handle on it.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me.
At this point, as you are making your way towards Dr. Noir, Nurse Sue walks into the room with you, Dr. Campbell, and Cody and Casey are back, and they also both make their way towards the room that you're in that has the patient that's actively seizing. And they all kind of really without direction, they just kind of start helping out. You're obviously getting like IVs going and pushing drugs and that kind of stuff. And God, does Casey smell good? You're like, oh my God.
It's a breath of fresh air.
He smells like man in Aqua di Gio. As he just comes in with his fucking perfectly suave hair and his chiseled body. You guys kind of get the patient stabilized. You let them know the patient started seizing, bleeding from their eyes. Sue comes up to you and says one of the other patients that came in at roughly the same time also started bleeding from their eyes and seizing.
Oh God.
And they're like, we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to find out what these people had so that we can. She's like, I drew blood. She's like, I drew blood from 5 out of the 6 patients. She's like, I've been running around like a madman. Nick was supposed to be helping me with labs. I don't know where he is right now.
And so
he's like pissed, not having any shit right now. She's like, but it's going to take a lot of time for lab work to come back. I don't know. We need to ask them what kind of drugs they took, these kids. God damn it. She's like, where's that deputy? And she's
Tony,
like walking around.
He let me know actually before he kind of started seizing. There was marijuana involved, shrooms, and LSD. As well as a number of alcoholic drinks. Very possible that some were mixed.
Okay. What were your two special moves, Sarah? I know one was because you were young, you could ignore a stress. What was the other one?
So that was just because of my tag. So my 2 moves are winning bedside manner, which just gives me +1 to heart, and the other one is white coat. So I think it's like when let me pull the resident page back up.
Oh, it's when you fake it or whatever.
When I feign
your
competence,
patient still believes you.
The patients always trust me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Okay. I think. Okay. So you're trying to kind of piece together some information. Casey and Cody were on scene at the house. They are kind of they're talking to you, like just saying things that they saw, things that were going on. They're trying to work with you. Sue leaves the room pretty quick. She's got to finish labs and running around and all this shit. And she's like, I need a cigarette. She runs out to go do more shit. We
all do.
As this is happening, Dr. Janice Hollow, you make your way towards the entrance to the ER where Dr. Noir is seeing out this Karen bitch that just signed the, whatever non-disclosure form or refusal or whatever for treatment.
Yeah. And, refusal of treatment.
Yeah. And the 2 of you are alone in a moment of there is chaos all around. But in this little area of the ER, it is quiet. And then again, lightning flashes through the window, the lights flicker a little bit, and thunder rumbles.
So Noir just like sees her out and he's just like, good night, yep, ta. And then he turns around and he sees Dr. Hollow and is just like, oh, what a night.
Yes, Dr. Noir, a quick word, please.
Yeah, wait, everything, what?
I understand things are very hectic right now, but did I hear that you were talking inappropriately to a number of patients tonight?
What? No, why?
Okay, well...
Just that one, but she was a bitch, who cares?
I mean, we have we took an oath as a doctor and we have a reputation to uphold.
My reputation is impeccable. He just says as he starts walking back.
Dr. Noir, I understand yours is, and you can go anywhere and have patients, but the rest of ours are not. Our jobs are on the line here. I came here for a reason.
As this is happening, the conversation is naturally escalating in volume, and unbeknownst to you, people kind of stop doing what they're doing just a little bit, and they start listening to the exchange that is going on. Continue.
So he goes, I understand what you're saying. I do. I really do. But we have 10 people in there who are really, really, really hurt. And while I understand that bedside manner is important, and I wish I had Maggie's, I really do. But sometimes we have to look at where we're needed more than we think about people's feelings.
Sir, with all due respect, there is a way to be authoritative and stern without being insulting.
Did you see that woman's cheekbones?
No, I unfortunately did not see
They
that.
were
woman's
awful. It would have
cheekbones.
taken me at least 3 surgeries to correct them.
Those are the kind of comments you keep to yourself, Dr. Noir.
No, this is the truth. This is what it is.
I think
We don't know
what I
all the
will.
genetics.
I think at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys make opposing rolls, and I would like for. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is a battle of like guts, honestly, right now. So I want.
Oh, I'm just a 0. I don't know how you are.
I'm a +1.
Okay.
But that's good though. But that's good because a guts roll is whoever has the most guts. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
got a
have you
7.
guys both.
Yeah.
Okay, both roll guts.
I got a 10.
After this exchange, as things kind of come to a close, you guys don't agree on any one particular thing. You both kind of leave and the tension is high. However, everybody else in the hospital has lost just a little respect for Dr. Dorian Noir and has gained a little respect for Dr.
Fair.
Janice Hall.
Very
So
fair.
you would, in a longer campaign, I would have you guys change your reputation respectively. So
Yeah.
Dorian, you would lose one,
Nice.
and Janice Hollow, you would gain.
Mine actually can't drop that much because I'm the best in my field.
It can't drop in regards to your specific
Correct.
medical.
Yeah.
So
Which is
But
all
the way
he
that
cares
people-
about, really. I mean, it's like,
That's true, and that's true.
superficial plastic surgeon. Like, the reason I'm being like such an asshole and have such horrible bedside manner is he's in a position, unlike like normal practicing doctors, he can
Right.
pick and choose who he works with.
Correct.
Right.
And he's very used to
exactly.
being like, no, you suck. I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah.
Like, go away.
Right.
He's the money maker
Yeah,
of the hospital.
and he also is right. He has like his parking space, like Dragula's park, like right next to the CEO's Maserati, and they probably like play golf together. So yeah.
He's the money
So
maker.
Yeah.
there is as this tension comes to a head and you guys briefly part ways, you see numerous other patients. You are going and assessing the other patients, trying to get to the ones that haven't displayed these later symptoms and that kind of stuff. And I would like the 3 of you to all make what I will let you make whatever roll you would like. So more than likely, whatever your highest roll is, trying to get to the bottom of what exactly these folks consumed. And I want you guys to describe how you do that to me.
Okay.
Mm.
So pick whatever role you want. Explain to me how that's going to be how you find out information from a patient.
I'm going to use my brains. I was trying to think of a way I could work in one of my specialties, actually, because that would help a lot. Because you get another +1 if you use a specialty, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also you guys can push, right? We can push rolls. Oh, well, I guess some of you re-rolled, which,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if it counts as a push, though.
Push is just a +1.
Yeah, push is just getting that +1, I think, from your specialty. That's what I was referring to. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm gonna use brains, and I have music as a specialty. All right. So I'm
Okay.
actually gonna try to work in some bedside manner and find some of these kids and be like, like massive golfing goth is such an absurd image. It really is, Ray and stuff. He has like a skull on the golf cart. I'm gonna try to rapport with these kids and be like, oh, hey, what do you listen to? Oh yeah, Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, cool. And then just kind of like build up a rapport and be like, listen, like, what do you take? Like, yeah, what'd you take? Like, kind of like do that thing. But while they like talk, I'm gonna try to think like when they're like, oh, we did LSD. I'm using my brains to be like, oh, did that? Like, how would this react with that? And like,
And not for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this is probably unfair for me to say. It was my initial cognitive bias, but I was like, I feel like people that get plastic surgeries probably use designer drugs a lot. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not.
I don't know,
probably
but it's a stereotype. But we don't know. Hey,
Right.
I don't know anyone who's done that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect.
In real-
Hold your roll.
yep.
Dr. Campbell, how are you going? What are you going to use, and how are you going to try to get to the bottom of what's going on?
So I'm gonna try and use heart, and it's the same strategy that she did with Tony, where she's basically gonna just try and the hey, I'm not going to tell anyone. I actually can't tell anyone. You know, I want to know so that, you know, I can help. And I don't know if this would come into play. One of my specialties is languages. So I imagine that she is, I'm going to say trilingual.
Okay.
English,
Yeah.
Spanish, and I'll say Portuguese.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can absolutely use that.
That I don't know if that could help with
Sure.
communication.
You find, so what happens is you find someone who appears to be of Hispanic descent, and after talking to them very briefly, you confirm that, and then you kind of start talking to them in Spanish, and you realize that it kind of calms their nerves. You build a little bit better rapport. So I will let you use that as well.
So that just gives a +1 to the roll?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll, but don't tell me what it is. And then Dr. Janice Hollow, what are you doing?
I am just going to use brains and try and search like the medical internet.
Okay,
or
yeah,
like medical journals.
You are seething right now. You are very worked up, and you head to the computer and you're like, all right, Poison Control Center, what you got? But you just, you start going through some information. You actually process some of the information that this poison control hotline gave you, and you're like, okay, organic compounds, chemical cleaners. They probably weren't drinking bleach. Organic compounds. And then you're like, okay, he asked me like, what geographical region are we in? What you start going through all these questions that he asked you, and you start to kind of try to piece that together. I just picture the meme with that lady with all the geometry and shit in the background.
Yeah.
That's Dr. Hollow right now.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody go ahead, give me your roll, and then everybody let me know what you roll.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Actually pretty good.
13, yo.
Damn.
A 13, Christian?
Yup.
God damn. What did you get, Dr. Campbell?
12.
12. We got a 13, a 12, and an 11. Okay, so here is what happens. All three of you are in separate parts of the hospital, and you are all doing your best to try to come up with what the hell is going on, right? Maggie, actually, I'm sorry. So Dr. Janice Hollow, you are you get the lesser of the role, still incredibly impressive. And you are looking at the geographical location and kind of what is going on and this and that. And you piece together something about mushrooms in this region, and certain mushrooms that can be very toxic and very lethal. And you look at this and you start looking up kind of symptoms and that kind of stuff. Maggie, this person that you're with spills the beans regarding some of the drugs that they took and stuff. And they said one of the people that brought drugs to the party was kind of shady. Nobody really knew him. They brought mushrooms to the party, but people were also taking LSD and stuff like that. And this person says that they took the mushrooms, but they didn't take any LSD, and they didn't trip at all. They're like, I didn't have a trip. I wasn't high or anything. It was kind of unfortunate. Okay. And then Dr. Dorian Noir, you are talking it up with, someone who likes, I don't know, Slayer or some shit. And I'm
like, yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
And turns out that this is the only person that was at the party that knew the guy that brought drugs, that brought the mushrooms. And he's talking about how he spills the beans to you that he knew that the person didn't have like legit psilocybin mushrooms and just tried to sell them like regular mushrooms, hoping nobody would know what they were.
Just like shit he picked out of the woods.
Yep.
Yeah.
Foraged.
All three of you with these, you come to the same conclusion using different methods. And you guys all come together, all converge, and you realize that these people took, it's got such a fucking badass name.
Is this the Minnesota edible mushroom, Troy?
No. It's definitely not. Death cap mushrooms.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Okay.
So you believe that these people took death cap mushrooms, which can cause all kinds of like renal failure, kidney failure, multi-organ system failure, seizures, tachycardia.
Hell yeah.
all this stuff. So you guys come to this conclusion. You start coordinating like, okay, we've got to call, like, we need to treat these people with these particular remedies.
So, okay.
Let me just click read that. So you guys start piecing together this stuff. Go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was just gonna say, I just looked it up just because out of curiosity. This is making me very happy because the first part of the scientific name for death cap mushrooms is Amanita, which is the name of my D&D character who I named because it was a kind of poisonous mushroom.
Nice.
No shit.
This is the one night that Doc Boyd's not here. He's in his group.
Oh, he can watch the recording. I actually now, so like medical story that Christian knows, I actually think I know some of the treatment of this. When I was in college, I knew someone who was like, I know how to forage, dude. I'm like a earthy, crunchy hippie dude. I know what I'm doing. Ate the wrong mushrooms. Okay. Spent like a whole semester in the hospital, lost part of their small intestine, and was like, they were like feeding them charcoal to like get, that was the initial treatment, was like, eat this charcoal to like flush it out of your system, so it would like get absorbed into the charcoal. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mushrooms are no joke. I'm sad Rainy wasn't here for this.
I know. I was thinking that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Rainy, all these drugs and mushrooms.
So you guys get to the bottom of this. You are able to miraculously stabilize all of the patients. Nobody dies, which is incredible given the situation and the circumstances. Dr. Stromberg gets there after you guys have solved the mystery, and he comes running in the ER like he's like covered in sweat, just sprinting full speed. He's got his like lab coat, it's all dirty and shit. He was like, it looks like he was running through the woods or something. Then he gets there and he's like, okay, like where do you need me? How can I help? And you guys are just like all like, we got it all figured out, all taken care of, right? As the shift starts winding to an end, the patients are stabilized. They are the larger hospital starts to kind of turn beds. You start to transfer some of the patients to the bigger hospital. It's a more appropriate level of care facility. And before you know it, like 4, 5, 6 hours go by. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun is just starting to peek through the crowds. And there's just this big giant pile of candy that nobody's touched at the nurse's station. And everybody gets off shift in 30 minutes. People are tired. People are covered in blood. Some people are pissed. Sue smoked an entire pack and a half of Camel non-filters. What do you guys all do?
I'm going to grab some candy and smoke a clove cigarette.
Yes. I'll give you some blow off some steam points for that.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
does anyone want to do an eating competition in 5 minutes?
I'm down.
Dr. Noir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Why not?
This is personal now.
Listen.
Slides almond joys his way.
Yeah, about before.
Let's chocolate laxatives.
No, come on. I'm trying to apologize here. Listen, Dr. Hollow, I'm sorry. All right.
You said my name.
Yeah. I'm sorry. All right. It was just, you're right.
I appreciate that, Dr. Noir.
Sometimes I forget that in general practice, we have to put up with more than I have to. I'm actually very fortunate in what I do, that I can pick and choose who I work with. And I, have a short temper because of that. So also, I don't like our staff being mistreated by people.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a more professional demeanor is helpful for everyone, including the staff environment here.
Probably correct. But if anything comes of it, just I'll take it on the chin. I don't care. What are they going to do to me?
Dr. Campbell?
Yeah. Sneaks a couple of Kit Kats off the candy table. And just kind of sits down in the little office area and just like closes her eyes and just leans back and just really slowly eats a Kit Kat and just takes a breath. just the real slow emergency chocolate.
As all of you are in your various stages of eating chocolate.
Did you really slip him laxative chocolate?
No,
Okay.
of course not.
Dr. Maggie,
No, of course.
Dr. Maggie Campbell eating her Kit Kat slowly and reflectively. Dr. Janice Hollow and Dr. Dorian Noir eating chocolate together at light speed.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, so now what do? I just like stuff it all the way in, and like he's like getting pointers on speed eating.
You just have 2 minutes to eat as much as possible. You got to strategize.
Right, I need some music for this, and he just like puts his phone down and he pulls up some 9 Inch Nails.
With 5 minutes left in your guys' shift, everybody is dog tired. This is the hardest shift you guys have worked in your life, and everybody is feeling it right now in the ER. Even the EMT student is like, he's just like, has his book open and he's just sleeping in his book, and no one's giving him shit for it right now.
Nope.
He did.
The tone goes off on the intercom.
Oh, fuck you, Troy.
It says, attention, code red, patient ETA estimated 10 minutes, or it says 2 patients, ETA estimated 10 minutes. 1 patient, blunt force trauma to the head. Another patient, unresponsive, appeared to have choked on a sweet potato. And at this point in time, you look at Dr. Stromberg with 5 minutes left, and you say, not my circus, not my monkeys.
It's all yours, Strom.
Oh my god!
Click, click. That's outside. Yeah, nice.
Nice.
All right, guys, that's where we're gonna go ahead and end this session. I hope
for reference, because that's something that occurred off stream, although we reference it constantly. But Troy, one of the early experience I had playing with Troy was in a game in which we were playing Blades in the Dark. And we're outside, like kind of like casing the joint while Sarah and Amber's characters were breaking into this like fortress, and Troy's thing was just like Ronnie starts choking on a sweet potato
to cause a distraction.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, I have this amount of turns to live. I impose this on myself.
Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. We're getting some
guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope we did the ward justice. So shout out to the folks that are in the process of making this a full, full RPG.
Yeah, Magpie Games. Yep.
Magpie Games. Can't wait to see what comes of it. I had a lot of fun playing it. I could see where this would also be a great game to have over an extended period. It could also be played as a very episodic thing, and I think it mentions that in the actual book as well. Once again, shout out to all of the first responders out there too. So thank you so much for what you do. It's easy for us to kind of make light of some of the things that are seen, but in reality, we know that you guys see and deal with some of the worst stuff too. So it's nice to know that you are appreciated, and we all appreciate everything that you do. So from all of us here at DMs After Dark, thank you so much. Sarah, you want to hit us with the outro?
All right.
Do we have any announcements, Sarah?
No, I believe, if I'm correct, our next stream on November 4th. Is this our in-person stream?
It is. We're gonna try.
Are we doing it live?
Yep.
I think we're gonna
live in person.
Wow.
So obviously, this is a different experiment for us. We are going to try and stream it live. We cannot 100% guarantee because we're not 100% sure, but we are going to try and stream Dread live. Troy will be in our area, and so we're all going to get together as a group and play Dread, which, if you don't know what it is a horror game that uses a Jenga tower as the mechanic. Is Amber running, I think?
Yes, Amber is running.
Yep.
Amber will be running. And then she'll be running the one shot after that too, won't she?
Not a one shot, it's a series actually.
Our next
Crossroads
series.
Carnival, which is also from Magpie Games. So yeah.
Yep, so another
Magpie's
Magpie
getting some
Ashcan.
Yep.
So we're going to be getting a lot of Amber over the next couple weeks, which is going to be super fun. And we're going to have both halves of Blissbot in 2 weeks, which pray that it all works. Chaos. So Stream can enjoy it with us. Yeah, there's going to be so much chaos. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up for the end of the year. We're very excited. but yeah, that is us for tonight. So you can follow us on all of the social medias at DMs After Dark. We are also on all of the podcast apps under DMs After Dark, where you can listen to the audio versions of these live recordings, our podcast, Modified Roles. An episode just dropped. Did it drop today?
Dropped today.
Correct?
Yep.
Episode
With
just
St.
dropped
Bailey's.
today.
St. Bailey's, Ben Bailey was a guest. So thank you, Ben. Yeah.
Yep. We talked about Rules Light RPGs with Ben Bailey, who is the gentleman that created Short Order Apocalypse and Midnight Codex, which we've just played. Very
which
good
drops
stuff.
on Halloween.
Coming on a Halloween, 10
That's right.
days till the
On
Kickstarter
Kickstarter,
launches.
yep.
Very exciting. And the podcast feed also has whatever little other random shenanigans we throw in there because we feel like it. You can follow us here on Twitch if you like. Following is free. If you feel like supporting us and you have Amazon Prime, you can give us 5 of Jeff Bezos's dollars.
And really, we need it more than he does.
True. This is true. He needs $5 like a death cap mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you already have Prime, it costs you nothing and it tells us you love us and we love you. So thank you very much. All of your subscriptions that people have amazingly, lovingly donated to us go right back into the stream. It helps us pay for equipment and it helps us keep our podcast hosted on all of the apps that we use it on. So the subscription support really, really means a lot to us. It helps us keep this running and us doing this thing we really enjoy. So you can also email us at dmsafterdark@gmail.com. So I'll say question of the week. What's the weirdest medical symptom you've ever heard of?
Ooh,
Gross
that's
us
a
out.
good one.
Fuck it. I don't read the emails. Someone else does. Although I'll probably check
me,
this week.
thanks.
Yeah, Christian does.
Kristen's
She
gonna
shares
get a
them
lot of pictures of shit in people's heads.
Please
Just
don't send
just
us pictures.
Prolapsed assholes, like
Please don't
constant
send us pictures for this one. Just describe. Sometimes I say things I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Hey,
you
listen. Hey, listen, guys, everybody. Not all superheroes wear capes. Peace.
do. Okay.
We're the
Until
worst
next
doctors.
time, everyone. All right. Until next time, thank your local first responder.
Yeah.
Aw,
Absolutely.
Nice.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good night, everyone.
See ya.
Good
And
night.
next time we see you, it'll be after Halloween. So happy Halloween,
Yeah.
motherfuckers. We love you.
Halloween.
They spooky bitches.
Be
Go be
safe.
spooky. Yes. Good night.
Good night.